It's finally time for the Sunshine Derby, with 36 cars set for 300 laps of racing at the virtual Five Flags Speedway. Alex McCullum will lead this stacked field to the green, then the rest will be history as we work towards etching the first name on the figurative Sunshine Derby trophy. Welcome to Pit Stop TV in the virtual Pensacola, Florida. My name is Andrew Cardinale IV. I've got Scott Shive alongside this afternoon, and it's a pleasure to join you for continuing coverage of the Sunshine Derby. Today's coverage, it is the afternoon, of course, from Five Flags Speedway, is brought to you by Club Racing Incorporated, by Dammit Dimit Racing Videos, by Caden Tough Designs, by KC Athletics, by MTM Fabrication, and by Goodacre Photography. Welcome, Scott, finally to the Sunshine Derby. I know you were so stoked to have gone to the Snowball Derby last weekend and taken a very similar event yourself. Now we're here doing it on iRacing. We've got 36 of the best super late model drivers the iRacing.com sim has to offer, and we're ready to go racing for 300 laps at this historic speedway. It is going to be an all-day kind of affair for these guys, a long race, a battle for sure, and it all starts with this racetrack.
The Derby is the Derby, and it all starts at Pensacola, this historic track, Five Flags Speedway. Opened in 1953, where it hosted a first NASCAR Cup Series there in that 1953, and now hosts the annual and the home of the Snowball Derby. That pit road speed is 35 miles per hour. This is a half-a-mile track, and it is coveted by many drivers that want to win here. It hosts now many ARCA races, ASA Stars, Southern Super Series, and tons more weekly racing from this historic and amazing track. And it's so historic because of the track surface itself, Andrew.
Yes, it's gotten worn out. Pieces of the track came up in the Snowball Derby weekend just last week. I mean, it is worn out. It's got character. It's bumpy. It grinds these tires down. It's a lot of fun to race on for these guys. Nobody wants it repaved. It's kind of like a Hickory, kind of like an Atlanta at one point in time. Nobody wants it repaved. Everybody loves the old track surface. Everybody loves the way it is. And that's a good thing. We like this old worn out kind of racetrack. It gives us better racing, and we're going to see some fantastic racing this afternoon. We've gone through a full weekend of racing. We've gone through a full weekend of street stocks, late model stocks, super late models, and now finally the super late model feature is upon us this afternoon. Scott, I know you weren't here for qualifying, you weren't here for the LCQ, but you went and watched each one. Call your shot now. Who do you have to win this race?
Man, obviously you got to look at those top three, top two. Obviously Alex McCullum up there on the pole, going to be sitting there, fastest time in qualifying with a 15.7. That's an extremely fast time here, even with open setups. Obviously also looking at Ryan Kuhn. You just can't overlook him, one of the most talented in this field tonight. A high I rating for him, and like you said, in qualifying, we know him from the Sarah Series. We know how good of a driver he is here tonight. I'm also looking at other guys down near the mid-pack. I'm looking at Presley Sora. Made select ARCA starts this year in the real world racing. He even started in the ARCA East Series at Five Flags earlier back in March. So I'm looking at him as well. Also like Peyton Howell. We cover him in the SimRap Market Series and know that he is a fast driver in that machine. Will be Peyton Howell. So there's a lot of guys we can be looking at, but I think the winner of it all will be the racetrack. 300 laps. You got to learn how to save and avoid cautions and wrecks as they come.
And a storyline I didn't think we would have for this race. We're going to be honest about it. These guys have been messing around in the session, this whole hour practice session. And if we bring in the iRacing.com sim here and take down the B-roll, I'm going to circle something on the screen. And it's going to be down in turns 3 and 4. Look at all of this rubber here, Scott. And I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know if the track is getting reset between sessions. I hope it is, because there is tons of rubber laid down from burnouts and guys messing around and having fun. There is a lot of rubber down there, and if these guys go flying in there on lap 1 and the track isn't quite to their liking, doesn't handle quite right, we could have a very interesting start on our hands.
Yeah, I've never thought about that storyline before. You can see it here on the sim. It kind of looks like shadow, but that is what you said. It is rubber laid down on this track as the practice session has now come to an end. And so I think we'll see right now if the track's getting reset. But like you said, if not, that could cause some problems here at the start, especially with a lot of times we see rubber get laid down. It's during the racing action, it's on the line, it's very even, and so drivers can figure it out. But right now with those burnout circles, it's very uneven. So we're going to see right now if that stays or if the track resets.
Well, let's head to our scenic blimp, and that rubber is still there. I'm a little fearful for these guys.
Goodness.
There's rubber all over turns 3 and 4. I don't think these guys thought ahead when they were messing around and having their fun. So this is a unique storyline to sim racing. You wouldn't have this in the real world. I'm curious as to how this is going to work out for these guys. It's why you had to check session settings and see, and maybe you're messing around as we come back to bite you. You can see from here how dark that rubber is. They have been doing burnouts and messing around and having fun.
Oh my goodness.
And I love that they've had some fun, but you've got to check your session settings because this is going to be a very intriguing, a very interesting start to this race, and an extra bit of who knows what going into lap number 1 through 300. So just an added little bit of drama for you. Let's go through your starting lineup though. On pole, you've got Alex McCullum, the best driver to do it right now in a late model on iRacing. He's got a 7,000 and change I rating, nearly 8,000. He is just the best driver in a late model right now. I keep saying it. I've said it in the Sarah Super Series, the National Tour. I've said it in qualifying earlier this week. I really do believe he's the best right now in a late model on the sim. He's starting alongside Jacob Harberts, who is one of the best. Not quite, I feel like, on a average day to the level of Alex McCullum, but he can go out there and beat Alex McCullum on any day, if that makes sense. Starting third place, you'll find Blake Thronberg, another one of those top-tier racing drivers in a late model, alongside Ryan Kuhn. Again, another one of those top-tier racing drivers in a late model on the iRacing.com sim. Brandon Wilkinson, a longtime veteran of the late models here on iRacing. He'll start 5th. Chase Pierce out of, I believe, Hudson, North Carolina. Maybe that was Ethan Johnson. Regardless, Chase Pierce out of North Carolina will start from 6th. Starting 7th, it'll be Chubb Shockley. 8th will be Riley Duncan. 9th and 10th, you'll find Larson Parker and Dylan Canova.
Well, then right there in 11th and 12th, we'll have two guys, pairs in the Misfit Racing League. That is Trevor Ward in the 16 car and Tanner Bethay on the outside in the 12th position. Back in 13th, we'll have Alyssa Pelletier-Sharp, the woman from France, our female driver tonight. We're excited to see what she can put down. She put an extremely fast time down in qualifying. Then Jay Nilsson, Peyton Howell, Presley Soar right there back in 14th, 15th, and 16th. Grant Thompson is on the outside in 17th in that 054. Greg Thurlow is in 18th there in his 38 machine, and the 51 of Jacob Wilson is on the inside of that 10th row, followed by Wesley Lynch in that 33, rounding out the top 20.
Waylon Nelson out of Alabama will start from 21st. Scott Negus from 22nd position in that 55 car. Starting 23rd, it'll be Kenny Trouton of Trouton Designs. Trevor Vaden rolls off from the 24th spot. Starting 25th, how about Sean Schneider? I gotta slow myself down when I say his name. For some reason, it trips me up. Sean Schneider there in the 26th car. Morgan McDonald rolls off from 26th. Starting 27th, he had to come through the LCQ. It'll be Caden Tufts. Carson Klingelhofer, also from the LCQ, will start from 28th. Zach Maroney will roll off in the 29th position, and to complete your field, it'll be Kyle Ricketts in 30th and Colin McDonough in 31st. 5 drivers not making the call, 5 drivers that qualified for this race not showing today. That's okay. We still have 31 very strong racing cars ready to go racing this afternoon. We can talk about those Whiplash SimCams race details. Don't worry, we didn't forget. We've got them right here on the bottom right of the screen. 300 lap race, open setup, 3 change sets of tires, 100% fuel, no fast fix, up to 2 green-white checkers available. And I have a feeling today, I'm going to say it now, I think we use at least one of those green-white checkers. I don't think it's a straight-up race to the end. I think we're going to be using a green-white checkered. I don't know why I have that feeling, but I have that feeling.
Yeah, I mean, look, we know the Derby can get rough, especially with how this track races with these super late models. A lot of people that don't watch these super late models that often, they're very different from late model stock. The late model stock is a much tighter car. You can really hammer it into the corners and out of the corners hard on the throttle. With the super late model, you have to absolutely feather it. You really have to work the car on entry and through the center and all the way through the exit. So it's really, you're all hands on deck driving this car at every point of every lap, and it's so easy to make a mistake.
Waiting on these cars to roll off of the grid. They've got some 5 minutes left on the grid. I think we're going to wait on some drivers to join the session maybe, because we are waiting. And I mean waiting for a while here on this grid, if we stay waiting. Well, let's talk about something else here on Pit Stop TV, the upcoming broadcast on the channel. Next up, it'll be Tuesday evening, 8:45 Eastern, the BRB Butt Kicker Cup Series. And then Wednesday, you'll make your return to the Sim Rap Market Series, Scott. We're going to Indianapolis Motor Speedway, the Brickyard, on December 18th. Before Thursday, we've got our first mystery race in the Sarah Pierce Fleet Service Super Series. We're going to who knows where, because we don't know.
Yeah, I love that. I love a series sometimes where it'll be like, hey, we're going to figure out where we're going right before, and you just have to figure it out. That sounds like so much fun. We got so much great stuff coming up here throughout this week. If you're off of holiday break, please come over to Pit Stop TV. Enjoy all these series we got coming to you. You can find us at our website, pitstoptv.com, our Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, YouTube, and of course, we're always on Twitter, or now known as X. So catch us all in our upcoming races over the holiday season.
While we wait on the grid, there's 4 minutes remaining. I've never seen a grid this long. That's okay. What we can do here is we can get ourselves accustomed to some of these paint schemes. We've got in the back of the field, Colin McDonough, out of Trenton, New Jersey. We're just going to roll through the field. We're just going to go one by one up through. Kyle Ricketts is not on the grid just yet. I think that's what we're waiting on. Midland, Texas driver, it'll be Zach Maroney in the number 720. Starting 28th, you'll have Carson Klingelhofer from DeGraff, Ohio. Caden Tufts to his left side there on the inside. Morgan McDonald rolls off from the 26th spot, kind of going back through the lineup here in reverse from Antigonish, Nova Scotia. You've got Sean Snyder there. You can just see his paint scheme in the number 26. There's a good look at it. Beautiful look at 26 and 15 cars there.
Really cool midnight scheme.
Yeah, I really do like it. And this is one that you talked about in pre-race before the broadcast. Out of Kernersville, North Carolina, Trevor Vaden there, a Jake Finch paint scheme.
Yeah, very similar to his pro car. So he runs a white, red, and yellow scheme on his supercar, but this more like his pro car. You got Kenny Troughton in there in the 25. Love that brine scheme right there, and that black and red. I love it. I love seeing all these awesome paint schemes from a lot of these guys. Scott Negus right there, another driver from Nova Scotia. Didn't realize we had so many guys from Canada in today in this red 55 tilt load car. Then on his inside, that's going to be the number 8, I believe, and that is Waylon Nelson in that beautiful... Is that a 6? That looks like a 6.
Number 9.
Oh, well, I'm wrong both.
It's turned around the wrong way on the roof. But anyways, out of Vail, North Carolina, you'll find Wesley Lynch, street limit there in the 33 car. Jacob Wilson will start from the inside. That'll be 19th spot for Jacob Wilson in the 51 car. Greg Thurlow rolls off from the 18th spot. You've got the Cyclone Express Car Wash on the hood, Race EPI on the quarter panel there, and then Grant Thompson on the inside. Grant Thompson finished 3rd last night in the Moonlight Derby. This might be a guy you have to watch today. He knows how to get around Five Flags Speedway so far in these late models. I know the late model stock and the super late model are very different from the ground up. They're completely different, but this might be somebody you have to watch this afternoon. And then you get up to Presley Sora in the number 98 car, a different paint scheme from what we saw on Friday. And Sora has made an ARCA start here at Five Flags Speedway. You were talking about it earlier. He's got experience in the real world on the racetrack here at Five Flags. He's one to watch for sure, starting from the midfield alongside Peyton Howell, another driver out of Radford, Virginia, that is going to be fun to watch.
Yeah, those guys moving up our grid. That's Jay Nelson in the number 16 car right there, the blue, red, white, and blue machine. Then on his inside, that is Alyssa Pelletier-Sharp. Again, our woman hailing from France. It was cool. You got to do an interview with her right during our qualifying, and it was so cool to hear her accent. And I think it's, what time is it for them? I think it's almost nighttime for them, so this derby for her will be ran at night. Then this is the 20 of Tanner Bethay. I've gotten to call him with the Misfit Racing League on a lot of the short track scene, so he's very familiar. Also on his inside, that's Trevor Ward in the number 16 car, another hailing driver there in that Cadillac. I love to see some cool paint schemes and all these things with the Cadillacs. Some will use the Firebird, a lot of different things you can slap onto these cars within the sim and these paint schemes. Then it's a 70 of Dylan Cavona there in that 70, that purple and black machine, and on his inside, that is that 18 and that bright blue, that's Larson Parker.
Starting 8th, it'll be Riley Duncan in the bright orange Easy Clean 97 car. To his inside, it'll be the 05 Chubb Shockley. Starting 6th, that's Chase Pierce out of Lexington, North Carolina. On the inside, it'll be Brandon Wilkinson out of Concord, North Carolina. Then you've got the 72 car of Ryan Kuhn debuting a beautiful Christmas-themed paint scheme, locking up the left front there, hitting the brakes, trying to generate some heat in the tires. You see that from the RKM Setup Shop driver in car 72. Graham, North Carolina's Blake Thronberg rolls off from 3rd. Jacob Harbert's on the front row out of Titusville, Florida. And finally, Phillipsburg, New Jersey's Alex McCullum will lead us to the green flag this afternoon. Finally, cars are rolling. Yes, we've got them rolling around the Five Flag Speedway, just what we've been waiting on for about 10 minutes now on the grid. We are ready to go racing. The longest grid time I've ever seen. It gave these guys a long time to think about what they're going to do on this first lap and the 299 that'll follow.
Probably some time to think about that rubber. Again, as we go through 1 and 2 here, you'll see the track is almost completely clean. Track is going to be absolutely the most grip it will have all day long right here at the start, at least with the sunshine being out. But right here, turn 3, 4, you see it, all of that dark spots we were talking about, all that rubber. iRacing just did an update with all of its debris, and rubber is included in that, so it's a lot easier to pick up this rubber on your tires than ever was before in the sim. So I think that's really going to affect these drivers more than it would ever have of in the past, Andrew.
Here you see everybody rolling around the speedway, getting ready to go racing, warming up the tires, warming up the engines, taking a few scuff laps, if you will. Scuff laps are usually run at kind of half pace, these guys at pace speed. But an opportunity for them to settle in and get ready to go racing again for 300 laps. We can't say it enough. It's a long time here at Five Flag Speedway. Here we go. The iRacing.com safety car pulls to the inside, and we are green. Already contact on the start, but we are racing in the Sunshine Derby. And immediately, caution.
Imagine, yep, wreck in the back. That's the 720 of Zach Maroney. And that beautiful red, white, purple car, all those colors. I swear he's got everything in the rainbow. Orange, yellow, purple, all of it in that 720. Already got damage on that rear, as you can see, some scuff marks there.
I actually think he got away scot-free. I don't think he's got any damage.
I think those palm trees were deceiving me.
Yeah, I think so. I think his car is clean. We'll take a look back at the start of the race and see what happened to driver 720. Just got loose on his own.
Yeah. It's real easy. Might have been a little bit of that rubber, but it's very easy to spin the tires here, and it's not even at pace. You'll see it's so easy to get loose out of these corners like we just saw from Zach Maroney. So we didn't even get to turn 3 and see what the rubber is going to affect these tracks, because we saw right here the 25 went down to the inside.
It was Kenny Trouton in the 25 car.
Yeah, luckily the caution had already been out, so he maintained his position, and I think he kept it off the inside wall.
Got hit from behind there, went for a slide to the inside lane, got the inside wall as well. I don't see much damage to that 25 car. The Honda Accord should be okay.
I didn't even know you could run the Honda Accord. I didn't even know that was a scheme you could put on these cars.
Oh, you can do anything you want with these cars. It's crazy what these guys will do.
Well, Alyssa, she's running a Pelletier Sharp. She's running the Volkswagen car. I've never seen that. I think that is a version of the Beetle I have never seen.
I want to say that is the Passat.
Is it? I feel like their hoods look very similar with a lot of their decals on Volkswagens.
I don't know. Yeah, they're pretty similar for sure. Well, anyways, we've got cars doubling up, ready to go back green flag racing. 5 laps in. Oh, Pelletier just got into somebody. I think that was the 20 of Tanner Bethea. Regardless, here we go. Back to the green flag. We will go. 5 laps complete. 295 to go. Green flag back in the air in the Sunshine Derby. A much cleaner start this time. 1 lap complete, no contact for Alex McCullum. That's the way we like to see things. McCullum, though, going to pull away from Jacob Harberts here early.
Lined up single file 1st through 5th, but then back there, that's Chase Pierce in the 17, stuck on the outside, trying to get down on the inside. Chubb Shockley makes up position there, and the 17 falls now into 6th.
Side-by-side racing here between the 97 of Riley Duncan and the 20 of Tanner Bethea. Alyssa Pelletier-Sharp looks to the inside of Dylan Canova and now to the inside of Riley Duncan, and that inside line is moving forward here early. Very little rubber on the racetrack, a very green racetrack to start the day, and no time acceleration. That was something that was added to iRacing years ago now. But we are running 0x sun conditions, meaning it will be static all day long. It'll stay looking just the same as it is now, and it's not going to advance. The track is going to wear out, but the sun will not move.
A little bit of contact there between Alyssa Pelletier-Sharp and Dylan Canova. Right there battling to be in the top 10. These two cars right here, man, absolutely loose. Out of the corner is the 70 car, trying to work to the inside of Pelletier-Sharp. He will get the nose down on the inside, exiting turn 2, dives it down into turn 3. Alyssa's giving him the lane on the top.
Opening up the door underneath as Alyssa Pelletier-Sharp gives that room to Canova to work on the inside, and Canova nearly had it that time through 1 and 2. Had to back out of it. Now leans on that car just a little bit into turn 3, trying to get back to the inside, has got the positioning on her.
And she's holding that momentum off the corner. She gets it back, holding it in the top 10, but Canova right there. Then Riley Duncan is pulled up to the rear. 3 cars glued to each other's rear and front bumper.
And just behind these guys, you got some fighting with Trevor Ward and Grant Thompson here side by side. I mean, there's racing all over the racetrack right now. Let's not forget our guys out front. Alex McCullum leading this race with now 14 in the books, this time by Jacob Harbert sitting 2nd, Blake Thronberg 3rd, Ryan Kuhn 4th. And Ryan Kuhn is coming straight off that victory last night in the Moonlight Derby. He would like to sweep the weekend.
He would love to sweep the weekend. We've never seen it in real life. Stephen Nasse had the opportunity to do it in real life with the win at the Snowflake, but wasn't quite able. Kuhn looking to do the sweep virtually.
A moment to breathe now as these guys get some laps in. Larson Parker racing with the 17 of Chase Pierce and the 20 of Tanner Bethea. This is for the 7th, 8th, and 9th positions. Then you've got that Alyssa Pelletier-Sharp group with Dylan Canova and Riley Duncan. And further back, Jay Nelson and Grant Thompson have sorted things out for 13th and 14th. The first side-by-side battle is deep in the field. We've got to look for it. It might be right here with McDonald and Nelson.
At 15 right there, trying to dive it on the inside. Misses the corner there. That number 9, not quite able to do it. Back there, that's Peyton Howell and Waylon Nelson. Morgan McDonald back there fighting here in the back of the pack. 24th, 25th, and 26th. Oh, the number 9 is sideways around, almost collects to 55. He's a spinner in turn 4.
And the caution will come out here on lap 19. We saw it all happen live, but we'll take a replay anyway. Fighting at the back end of the field leads to Jay Nelson having trouble. Waylon Nelson, rather, having trouble. The other Nelson cousin. Jane Nelson, thankfully, is up the road and okay, but we'll take a look back at what happened to Waylon. Got free on his own, and was just trying to hang on to the race car. Ends up hitting the inside wall there, trying to keep it out of harm's way.
Yeah, McDonald had nowhere to go when the 9 of Nelson got loose there in turn 3. Taking a lap back, just looking at this action we were looking at just a moment ago. Again, this is the 9 of Waylon Nelson right behind him. That is Morgan McDonald right behind. You'll see right here the 9 just gets loose right in turn 3. So easy to do, just charges in on entry. The 15 actually misses it completely. So no contact between them, and the 9 just couldn't quite save it.
Everybody missed him, thankfully. Nobody hit
I really
the
thought he was going to
car.
get the 55.
Yeah, I thought that was going to be a lot bigger than it was, but thankfully everybody missing driver number 9. He will take to the pit lane here and lose a lap maybe. We'll see. Does he lose a lap, or is he going to hang on? There's the pace car on the left side. He might just hang on to the lead lap here. This is going to be close. Lightning McQueen
Oh
style.
my gosh. Oh, that's exactly what I was going to say. He did it.
So Waylon Nelson hangs on to the lead lap. A page out of the book of cars.
Hey, look, if you're a racer and you're never taking something out of the book, you're doing something wrong.
You see just how worn out the racetrack is down in 3 and 4. All that rubber from the burnout still just sitting there. Now, we are starting to get some more natural rubber laid down on the racetrack, and I think we'll cut into that lap after lap, and the track will get more normal, but a very worn out surface down in 3 and 4 are going to be an interesting way to get this race started. So far, it's been okay. These guys have been all right. I didn't think there was going to be anything crazy. Didn't think anybody was going to go spinning or anything like that, but I'm sure it feels a little bit different for these guys, a little bit glossy maybe.
Well, we're stacked up yet again. We're going to see that we talked about it. That bottom line is always dominant, especially at a track like this. Got to make your way to the bottom as fast as possible.
Here we go. Restart on the way. Green flag back out here at Five Flags. Caution in the back. Spinner. It's Riley Duncan in the 97 car. And Colin McDonough going to be involved.
Yeah, looks like a scuffle there in the mid-pack. You'll see. Oh, good amount of damage there on the 97 of Riley.
He's going to pull it straight in.
Yeah, looks like he does. Yeah, that toe is absolutely turned inside on that left front. Oh, goodness, you can see it prominently right there.
That's going to be a day ender.
Yeah, I think so. With no fast repairs here for these guys, he's going to need a lot of time on pit road to get that one repaired, and I think he'll be multiple laps down by the time that comes. We'll get our pit stop TV replay here. Looked like a scuffle between the 16 and the 97 of Duncan.
Yeah, that was Jay Nelson that ends up turning Duncan around. We'll take a better replay at it here. Jay Nelson just bumps the 97 car a little bit. And the other 16 made contact on the way by. That was Trevor Ward. And then Colin McDonough just drives straight into the 97 car. Might not have had anywhere to go.
Yeah, that was where the big contact came from. And that's where the big damage came from. Wonder about McDonough and how his car will drive after this. But yeah, looks like, oh yeah, you can't quite see through that smoke. There was a guy to his car to his outside. Not really anywhere to go.
Such a challenging thing to do, miss these crashes sometimes. They just get parked in the back straightaway and the C's part right in front of you. And then you don't know if you can swerve to get around because you might hit somebody else and make the crash worse, so you just lock it down and hope for the best.
Yeah, that's really all you can do in situations like these. You saw Trevor Ward in the blue and white machine just barely get around it. As we'll see the 39 of McDonough here coming off pit road. Looks like he is a bit less damaged than that of Duncan, but still damaged nonetheless.
Yeah, that's going to wear that left front out big time, and I don't know if it's going to be all that worth continuing on. Usually I'd be on the side of making sure you continue the race no matter what, but that's going to wear the left front out really badly. We don't have tire rubs, thankfully. We saw one of those in the Snowball Derby last week, but this is really going to wear that left front tire out in an awkward way and potentially lead to a tire failure. We'll see as the race goes on, but green flag back in the air here for Alex McCullum. Brandon Wilkinson bringing the fight to Ryan Kuhn on this restart. That's important to watch as there's a spin in the back. Larson Parker around, and it's a track blocker on the front straightaway.
Oh man, car up in the air. That's the 51
of Wilson.
That's Jacob Wilson. 720 is involved yet again.
Peyton Howell.
Other cars, 38.
Greg Thurlow, Dylan Canova.
This is a parking lot. Getting it worked out pretty quickly before the pace car comes around. But lots of cars involved here. Larson Parker and that 51 right there. Jacob Wilson still unable to get that car turned around.
The problems for driver 51 as he tries to find a way to get turned back around. It's just going to take time, and there's the opening right there. Going to reverse at the racetrack and finally get that car righted, and he will pull away.
Yeah, really going to be interested here to what started this all. It's so hard. You'll get some momentum packing up on these restarts, but after this first lap, we had an issue here. Oh, looks like it happened more up front. Started with the 18. And that was, I think that was not, was that Trevor Vaden?
It was the 18
That
of
was our,
Larson
was
Parker.
our other, Larson Parker, that's our other 18. Oh, yeah, it looks like, oh, who was that?
Dylan Canova.
Dylan Canova. Yeah, I see him over the radio. That's where it all started, on that outside, battling to get down on the inside. Just misjudged the exit, was Canova.
There was a checkup. Chase Pierce had to check up,
yeah.
and that just creates this chain reaction, and everybody piles in. The other 18 made it through nicely, but man, a lot of big hits in this one. Peyton Howell turned around. Colin McDonough stopped to miss it all. Sean Snyder did the same.
It looks like Howell doesn't have too much damage there. A lot of other drivers really just had to slow up and spin for that one.
And I think Thompson is getting the EOL.
Oh. I imagine he was the car right before that started the whole checkup.
Yeah, I think that's what's being deemed here, is that he started the checkup and is being sent to the rear as a result. So technically he's the catalyst that started the crash, it sounds like. And he will go to the back of the field here.
Yeah, not surprised to see that one. We saw from our replay, Larson Parker there was a stop right in front of him, and that was the 54 of Grant Thompson that started it all. Zach Maroney, a lap down right now, currently running in 29th position. And Riley Duncan, who we saw on our last caution, is now out of this race, 9 laps down.
Just going through some of the damaged cars. There's Greg Thurlow. He's going to be okay, but now in the rear of the field as here we go. Restart zone on the way, and we are back green at 5 flags once again. A big restart here for Blake Thronberg. Powers to the inside of Jacob Harberts.
This is the first time we've had a change for position up within the top 2. Harbert's now stuck on the outside. That's a 22 of Blake Thronberg now into second. Kuhn working to the inside of Harbert's, trying to get into that podium.
You watch on board of Jacob Harberts looking at Ryan Kuhn work on the inside lane. Chubb Shockley, Brandon Wilkinson sort out spots behind. Shockley moves up. Caution in the back.
Chubb Shockley slowly working his way up. Another driver slowly working his way up. Tanner Bethea up 6 spots from the start of this race, almost breaking into the top 5. We got caution out yet again on lap 37.
It looks like this may have been Trevor Ward, yeah. Driver out Oxford, Maine just lost it. Got the inside wall pretty hard.
That's an interesting spot to lose it. It really looked like he was almost, he was almost completely out of the corner. Must have just gave the throttle a good little punch, and the rear end just didn't like it. Yeah, just moving up on that banking to the back stretch, you stab the throttle just the wrong way, and it'll get you out of line. Trevor Ward was running up in the top 20 when this incident occurred with him. That was Alyssa, the 171 right behind him, so he was actually in the top 15 when he slammed the inside wall right there.
And Ward will bring that car to the attention of his crew. You can see here we've got a camera right in his pit box, and look at all that damage. Let's see, is the wheel straight? It's for a super late model, that's mostly straight. And if we go back to the pit camera, look at how much toe is knocked out there on the left front.
Yeah, he's turned in a little bit to the right. Normally these cars, when they drive, the wheel will be a little bit off to the right. So if his wheel isn't straight right there, that means when he turns back to be straight, the wheel will actually be straight, which technically, in terms of super late models, is quote-unquote not straight.
He'll pull away, and you can see just how much damage is still made to that left front tire. And again, that's going to be a tire that wears out unevenly and rather rapidly. That's going to be a problem for the 16 car moving forward, but we'll continue on. We'll press on through this race. Lap 40 now of 300. And we'll get the restart this time by with 40 complete.
I know some of these drivers up front are getting some good restart practice, but now we're going to see the 80 of Harberts in a different position than he's been in the past. He's been on the outside of the front row. Now he's back on the inside of the second row. Kuhn advances to the outside yet again, and then Chubb Shockley, and again Tanner Bethea right there in the top 6.
Green flag back in the air here at 5 flags. 1 lap complete off the restart. Jacob Harbert's right back up to second place. Ryan Kuhn falling back now. Chubb Shockley working on the inside.
Shockley trying to move up into that 4th position, passing Ryan Kuhn. Meanwhile, Harbert's finally back, like you said, into that top 2. So 1, 2, 3 are the same. Chubb Shockley gets around Ryan Kuhn. Now it's the 56 of Brandon Wilkinson trying to work to the inside of that top 5. Caution out yet again.
Man, this is going to be Morgan McDonald turned around in turn number 1. Got to get these cautions out of the way, guys. This is starting to stack up now. Got a long ways to go in this race, and it's been small things here and there, which is part of short track racing, but we'll take a look here for Morgan McDonald and see what happened. Came down into Peyton Howell, and slapped Howell again, and then there was Larson Parker, and McDonald went for a spin.
Oh man, I know Howell was definitely not happy about that one. Just running his own line, the 15 continually trying to save it, having to use him as almost a bumper to try to grab onto a hold of the car.
We'll catch the onboard here with Peyton Howell and see what it looked like from his perspective. That Cottle chassis machine just tried to get in line on the inside, and oh boy.
Yeah, 15. Got pull down, grab, I do.
Well, under caution here, Alex McCollum's still the race leader. He's led every single lap thus far, all 45 that are complete. His stat line is absolutely perfect. He wants to keep it that way. He won the Sarah Fall Brawl here in the National Tour. He's got something to defend here, and now moves over from the shop to Alex McCollum Race Cars. So his own effort, doing his own thing, the way he wants to do it, no longer with the shop. Of course, bids them the best of farewells, but a big change up for a driver that is on the rise here in late models.
Yeah, really awesome to see from Alex McCollum. Just this excellent drive that he's put out here in all his sim racing and now in real life that he's gotten to do. And he is absolutely showing his talent up here at the front, just with restarts in general and being able to hold it here up front.
We'll see what happens here on lap 48. Green flag back in the air at Five Flag Speedway. One lap clean off the green. Side by side, the 72 and 56. That's Wilkinson on the inside of the 56 car. Kuhn on the outside of the 72 car. Tanner Bethea right behind. Let's go to his onboard and watch.
Yeah, Bethea in that 20 car, currently sitting in 7th. Watch this battle. Oh, Bethea sideways off of turn 4. Able to gather it back up here in turn number 1. That's the 17 of Chase Pierce lurking behind. Meanwhile, up front, that's Brandon Wilkinson getting in front of the 72 of Kuhn.
50 laps complete. 1/6 of the way through this race now. Starting to put some laps in. It's been a hard-charging race to this point. 6 cautions for exactly half the race now. Wanting to get some green flag, and there it is. Caution.
Won't be able to do it. Ryan Kuhn was trying to make a move there on the inside of Brandon Wilkinson, but wasn't quite able before the caution came out.
It's going to be a quick spin, too. This is going to be one that drivers are not happy with. Well, this is an iRacing thrown yellow for Waylon Nelson. It's going to be a very quick spin. I saw a brief moment of it, trying to rewind to it. And Scott Negus got into the inside of Nelson and sent the 9 car up the racetrack. And yeah, that's an unfortunate caution for sure.
Yeah, it really is. What Nelson really got a hold of that after the contact with Nason. Not something that you want to see there. Excuse me, Negus.
On board with Waylon Nelson. Watching the hands. Contact. Drift. Great save.
That's exactly what I was going to say. It is, once you get sideways like that, it is really hard to get enough wheel angle in these cars to save it. So that was an excellent effort by that driver.
So a solid save there from the Nelson Roofing driver. This will take us to yet another caution and take us, I believe, over half the race under yellow now. But that's okay, there's time yet. There is plenty of time, and we'll see these guys. We won't have controlled cautions quite like the Snowball Derby. But we will have opportunities for these guys to come in and get tires. Now, these guys will take these cautions and run with it and stretch these tires as long as they can. Scott, I have to imagine, though, they come in for at least one set.
Oh, absolutely. You cannot go 300 laps on these tires. I think iRacing will have a problem with the heat, and they will blow. So you absolutely have to pit at least once in this race. I think for fuel as well. I don't quite know if you can go all full 300 laps on a full tank. So you'll have to pit at least once no matter how many cautions we have as we line them up, stack them up, and get ready to go here as we complete lap 55. As a caution, we go green.
Lap 55 will be complete this time by in the restart zone. Green flag back in the air for Alex McCullum and company. Ryan, oh wow, that was a big hit to the wall for Chubb Shockley. He falls back big time on this restart, stacks at the outside line, right in front of Ryan Kuhn to Chase Pierce, and another around. It's the 18 of Vaden. Grant Thompson
Vaden
collected.
Yeah. As a 54, he had an EOL earlier. That's why he was in the back, because he had started up within the top 15. Take a replay here and check out what happened. Now, this is looking at currently the driver of Trevor Vaden in that 18. It's a 21 of Carson Klingelhofer right in front of him. And that's the 70 car of Canova right behind him. Yeah, it just gets into his inside. In the middle of 3 and 4. 54 had nowhere to go.
Just another checkup.
Seeing a lot of commonalities in a lot of our cautions here tonight, Andrew. A lot of checkups, a lot of guys trying to fight for position, diving to the inside, and just drivers not knowing that the other is there.
On board with Grant Thompson, it seems like maybe the left front was broken after this contact, and that's why he immediately left the race. Must have felt it right away because he immediately towed and took it to the pit lane and has since left the session.
Yeah, that is real frustrating. You saw how slowly he was going and just nowhere for him to go up on that outside. So looking here at our leader, again, still Alex McCullum. He has led every lap so far in this race. Blake Thronberg got back up to second place earlier. And I want to talk about Ryan Kuhn for a second, because I swear he has had to start on the outside for every single restart, and he'll start on the outside yet again. It's been really difficult for him to find the hole to get down to the bottom.
iRacing.com safety car lights should be extinguished that time by, and yes, they will be. Are we going to single file restarts here?
I believe so. That's what it looks like. So no outside issues, no no problem for Ryan Kuhn having to start on the outside this time. We're going to start single file.
We'll see if this solves our problems. Alex McCullum going to run all the way through the marbles here, defending the outside lane. Does not want to get passed up on this restart. Will bring us to the green flag just like that, and we are back green here at Five Flags Speedway. One lap complete. Ryan Kuhn has dropped all the way down to 8th position here, Scott. This is bleeding time away at this point, and it's been on restarts. He's just got to get these restarts down. And, I mean, he's been on the outside for most of them, so it's been stacked against him for sure. But you can't give up this much time, this much track position on these restarts and expect to win this race. I don't know what's gone wrong for Ryan, but the late model sweep is not looking good right now.
Yeah, no, I mean, he's just been stuck on the outside on those restarts like we've been talking about, but earlier he was running in 6th, and then Chubb Shockley had that moment with the wall, Ryan Kuhn had to have a big checkup there when that incident happened and dropped him back to 8th. Now, he's trying to work to the inside of Caden Tufts. Tufts in the double O here now on the outside. Caden Tufts is up 20 positions from the start of this race, our biggest mover of the day so far. Wow, you can see how sideways he is through turn 2.
And Kuhn will take that spot away, so Caden Tufts moves back in behind him right in front of Chase Pierce. Side by side for the top 10, Alexa Pelletier Sharp goes by Presley Sora. Sora will slot in 11th spot right ahead of Carson Klingelhofer, who's sideways and drifting through 1 and 2 and just hangs on. Somebody else does not. And we've got a car in the air pirouetting. It was Morgan McDonald.
McDonald absolutely flipping and barrel rolling. Now up on the front bumper of the
Oh boy!
Whoa! Turns in front of leader Alex McCullum. McCullum had a huge checkup right there. Ryan Kuhn also had to check up. He's down on the bottom. A lot of these drivers in the way in that incident.
See what happened. McDonald got free, spun around. Vaden got free at the same time. And wow, Maroney just T-boned and flipped the 15 car right up in the air. And Maroney's left front looks destroyed.
I don't think I've seen the likes of this in a long time. You see right there, that was Alex McCullum. Back of McDonald.
Unbelievable scenes here on the front stretch. Watch McCullum come into this. Here he comes from a half track back. Got parked cars all over the place, and finally McDonald's going to get off that 720 car and drive down the racetrack, and that was close for our race leader.
Yeah, race leader would have picked up a good bit of rubber there down on the apron. He'll have to wipe all that away, try to clean the tires. And I think Ryan Kuhn had to dive down to the apron as well to avoid some of that.
Well, that was a better restart. A nice little run there for a moment. But just cars getting loose, man. This is a difficult racetrack, a difficult car, difficult combo. And I think we're showing just how difficult it is with these single car spins that compound into bigger issues, that time between Vaden, who's in the pit lane, and McDonald, who's in the pit lane, I believe. And there's McDonald leaving the pit lane, actually.
Yeah, McDonald right now, I think he's only 1 lap down, so he's the only driver 1 lap down right now. Trevor Vaden, 4 laps down. Zach Maroney, 4 laps down. Kenny Troughton from an earlier incident is 5 laps down. So this 15 car trying to make his way, even for that flip, he doesn't have as much damage as I would have imagined.
Yeah, the car looks okay, honestly. I'm surprised, but here we go. Race leaders up ahead, going back green flag, just like that. And a disjointed restart for sure. Harbert's now pushed up on the outside lane. Wilkinson was looking to the inside. Chubb Shockley sits there in 5th. We could have something here.
Yeah, this is going to be great racing. These guys up in the top 5, top 6 are going to provide it. Chubb Shockley, again, right there in 5th, but they are all single filed out. Meanwhile, Tanner Bethea up on the outside. Ryan Kuhn trying to get back to where he was earlier in this race. Tufts trying to take advantage of it as well. A little bit of contact in turn 4.
Tufts got 3 on the inside, bobbled up into Bethea. And 1 car leaving the pit lane will be Trevor Vaden. He will rejoin the field here in a moment. But for now, the side-by-side stays between Bethea and Tufts for 7th. Contact! They drive into one another.
Door to door, fighting hard for this position, fighting hard for 7th, that is. Still fighting well in the top 10. Meanwhile, caution is out.
And I think Harberts might have just got Thronberg for 2nd as that caution happened.
That's a 26 of Sean Schneider.
See what happened to driver 26 here in just a moment. There's a little free. Here comes Waylon Nelson and just tips the 26 car around.
And just another one of those racing incidents. I mean, you just saw Nelson. That's one one time where you have to be so attentive to what is happening in front of you to try to be able to check up, and it just like Nelson, it was just too quick for him to react. We've had 10 cautions for 39 laps so far, so a little bit more than half our race has been under caution. No changes for the lead. Alex McCullum has been perfect up front so far, but we've got a lot of ways to go, and I think we've got green flag action here in our future.
And I'm going to say something I've said in the past. It's going to be a little bit hard to listen to at first, but this is on the drivers. And I see the YouTube chat conversation about the race and about the cautions. This comes down to the drivers. They have to make certain decisions that haven't been made so far, and it's nothing big. Nobody's doing anything particularly wrong. But it's on the drivers to get clean racing in. They're the ones with the steering wheel in the hands. It's not on event organizers to control the race cars. It comes down to just making certain decisions. Unfortunately, there have been a few decisions made, just car placement, really, and getting a little bit free here, a little bit loose there, maybe matting the throttle too hard. Small stuff like that that compounds into bigger issues. That's all that's happening here. It's nobody doing anything, again, nobody doing anything particularly wrong. But Scott, it's compounding little things into larger things, and it's unfortunate to see because we get these cautions like this, so we can't get racing. But it's part of short track racing at times. Sometimes you just have those kinds of days.
Yeah, it really is. When you get in a sim scenario like this, it's just so easy to be able to push it just a little bit harder and not quite be ready for what comes next. Waylon Nelson was DQ'd from this race for being involved in incidents as we go green here yet again.
Oh, Chubbs Shockley got the wall big time, and he's going to go for a spin. Big hit for Shockley. He might be out of this thing. Caden Duff spinning as well.
Oh, big contact from the 26 of Schneider, and then the 25 piles in.
Shockley's day is done.
Oh my gosh, that's so frustrating. Shockley, I've gotten to race with him a lot in the super late model officials, and he is a talented driver, just pushes it real hard off of turn 2 here, and when the car gets in the wall like this, it is an absolute magnet. You get so slow, tried to correct it, spun out, slams the outside wall, and then drivers had nowhere to go coming into this. Oh man. I'm actually really upset about that one.
Yeah, the caution was out there for a good minute. We'll see what happened to driver 05 here. One more time, just grabs the wall big time in the center of the backstretch. Ryan Kuhn net-coded into him. Caden Tufts got into him and got net-coded as well.
Oh, man.
I'm not really sure how he got collected on the outside lane, but that's neither here nor there.
It looked like Schneider might have been too wide heading into turn 3, and by the time he realized that Shockley was up on the top, he couldn't dive down to the bottom. At least that's what it looked like. Looking along here with the 0-0 of Caden Tufts. Shockley's going to get into the wall. You saw Tufts get into the wall a little bit there. Turns him into the outside, nowhere to go, and then Tufts gets turned as well.
Did a good job of locking it down as you see stuff happening there on the left side of the screen. One more replay for the Chubbs Shockley machine on board. Got hit 3 times there.
Yeah, that is really hard for the driver of Shockley. And again, he's still in this race right now, getting damage repaired. Currently 4 laps down, but man, that is a driver I think that could have contended for the win today for sure.
Green flag back on the way here on lap 83 of 300. We are back at it in the Sunshine Derby. One lap complete off the restart. Lap 85 underway. McCullum, Harberts, Thronberg, Wilkinson, and Kuhn, your top 5. some really good names moving up.
Lapped car there past him. That was Kenny Trouton down on the bottom. Like you said, Kuhn now up into 5th, battling back from when he fell earlier to 8th on our double file restarts. But right now, single filed out here for most of our positions. Pelletier Sharp just got around that of Larson Parker.
So battling in the back here, Greg Thurlow, Trevor Ward, Caden Tufts. Tufts was up front, and McDonald around for another spin.
Yellow's out.
And this time he was driving down the racetrack, and it was Colin McDonough on the inside. Kenny Trouton back to the pit lane. Might not have been happy with the damage repairs that have been made so far, and you saw what happened there between these two drivers. There's the 15 of McDonald.
Yeah, just on the outside there.
And that is day done, it looks like, for Morgan McDonald.
Yeah.
I believe
McDonald
that is a park.
was removed.
Yep.
Yep.
So the friendly foot, number 39 car, deemed not at fault for that incident, will come down the pit lane here along with Sean Schneider and Caden Tufts and Jacob Wilson and Greg Thurlow. So a crowd on the pit lane this time by.
Some coming in for damage repair. I think some might come in for tires. This is a time where you have damage. Yep, right there you'll see some of these drivers getting the tires in that number 38 car. That is Greg Thurlow. Others just getting damage repair and trying to beat the pace car out.
Thurlow going for 2. And these guys will just beat the pace car out, it looks like. Lightning McQueen style again. Caden Tufts just does it. Thurlow as well. That was close.
Thurlow, I mean, that by mere inches he made it there. But, you know, why not? Why not go in the pits and pit for 2 tires? You're locked down to the back. It's been tough to make up ground from back there with these short green flag runs. So why not go pit for 2? Get an advantage on these guys up front. You've still got 3 sets on your inside and 2 sets on your outside. And I think with these cautions, we probably will only pit for 4 once in this race.
And honestly, these guys may never ever get 4 tires on at once. They might have to do 2 and 2. I would not be surprised because of the lack of controlled cautions to see these guys come in and get left sides at some point early and have to deal with the older right sides, and then the next caution come in and get right sides.
Yeah, might be a play that you have to make, just spending with time with these cautions. But again, single file restarts, ready to go again.
One lap complete off the restart. Alex McCollum, Jacob Harberts, Blake Thronberg, as it's been most of the day, your top 3. Wilkinson, Kuhn, your top 5, then Bethea, Pierce, Pelletier, Sharp, Parker, and Nelson, your top 10.
And they have been running it absolutely great and clean up here. It has been so awesome to watch them fight. Ryan Kuhn just a little bit loose there. That was Brandon Wilkinson right in front of him. But man, these drivers are absolutely glued to this racetrack, running it single file through here. This might be the best competition that Alex McCullum has had all day long. Harberts, I think this is as close as he's been within 2/10.
And there's a slow car ahead. That's Sean Schneider trying to get out of the way. It will be a problem for these leaders here at another lap or 2 as they approach lap 100 and a 3rd distance through this race. We're down to 21 cars on the lead lap. Just kind of an update of where we're at. 21 cars on the lead lap. Some lap down cars that are still in this race include Sean Schneider, 2 laps down, about to go a 3rd lap down, and then Trevor Vaden, who was 4 laps down. Nobody is 1 lap down. Chubb Shockley and Zach Maroney are still in the session, but out of the race at the moment. Side by side, Ryan Kuhn, Brandon Wilkinson. They sort that spot out quickly. That's a couple of veterans going at it.
Yeah, Wilkinson looked like he tried to throw the crossover there for just a moment, thought about it, but thought better of it here, fighting within the top 5. These 2 drivers, like you said, veterans, absolutely clean when they're able to go at it and fight. as they're about to pass another lap car. That is the 26 of Snyder, still up around ring in the top.
I think that was Wilkinson letting Kuhn go, realizing the situation. As Bethay gets checked up big time behind Schneider. That was almost a moment for Chase Pierce as well. Pierce now looks to the inside lane. Nice little onboard here.
That I was going to say that almost allowed a bit of a moment. Oh, a little bit of contact there between Pierce and Bethay. Looking along the back of Bethay's car. Pierce is looking for his next opening. Bethay goes a little bit high in turn 3, grabs that momentum to run off of turn 4. Trying to put a car link between him and Pierce. Meanwhile, looks like Presley Sora is going at it with Wesley Lynch. 3-car battle back there, and then Carson Vaden.
Mentioned Presley Sora, Wesley Lynch, and Dylan Canova here, racing for the 12th spot. Sora having a very quiet day so far. I think has got an opportunity to move up. Just going to need to put the right things together and start working moving forward. Wesley Lynch can do the same thing. I mean, any of these guys can absolutely start to put the pedal to the metal and move forward through this race so they can just kind of sort things out.
Both up spots from the start of this race. Presley Sora is up 4. Wesley Lynch is up 7. But Sora finally getting some green flag, trying to be able to make some pace here in this race. Wesley Lynch, you saw him diving into turn 3. Almost got into the rear of Sora. But Sora, he's single filed out, but he's still running a higher line. Never seen this before.
You can start to use some of the racetrack here when you get more rubber down at 5 Flags. Even in the Snowball Derby, you saw the track open up a little bit to some higher lines. You still mostly want to be around the bottom, but eventually the track does open up where you can do a few different things around the racetrack. As we saw there, Canova start to go around Presley Sora and gets in the back of him now in 3 and 4. Caden Tufts moving up as well.
Tuff, the driver, was up there fighting within the top 10. He was up in 7th earlier. He was up 20 positions from the start of this race, so we know that he has a fast machine and is a fast driver trying to work to the inside of Canova here. Backs out and trying to find his moment.
See, there's some brilliant car control out of Caden Tufts, drifting off of turn 4. Problem is, it's going to heat those tires up, the rear tires especially, and wear them out. So he's going to be really wishing he hadn't, spun the rears later on in this run.
Yeah, now much better control here at a turn 4 for Tufts. Just biding his time. He knows they need some time to make it up here in those. Meanwhile, Ryan Kuhn has passed for 3rd. He passes Thronberg for that 3rd position. Again, that beautiful 72 car. I love his paint scheme, but this is the first time that Kuhn has been in the top 3 all day.
Yeah, we were very critical of Ryan Kuhn 50 laps ago. Now, inside of lap 100, he moves up into the podium position of 3rd. So he's moving forward. He's got things righted now. I think we're showing that he has got a car to contend for the race win. He just needed some time to get back through this field. Needed some green flag racing, and that's what a lot of these guys are going to want, is some green flag racing to sort this race out. Mono in some cases, as he goes by Thronberg for 3rd.
Yeah, that criticism wasn't of a lack of ability or anything of that nature. Kuhn was just stuck on the outside earlier and not able to make up time with all the rash cautions. But again, we know he's where he needs to be at now, up into 3rd. He's 1.4 seconds off the lead, and that leader is still Alex McCullum. He's led all 112 laps so far. Meanwhile, back here, this is Larson, Parker, Tanner Bethay, and then right there, that's Chase Parker. Chase Pierce.
And Alyssa Pelletier-Sharp is moving in. This will be a 4-car race here soon for the 6th position rather. Parker through Pelletier-Sharp on your ticker. So Parker, Bethay, Pierce, and Sharp all very close together, and I'm just continuously impressed with this driver. Driver of the 71 car from turn 1. I'm just so beyond impressed. I don't know what she does behind the wheel, but it works out. It clearly just works out. Listed with Elite Performance Industries. I know she was working with a couple of drivers last night on how to find a little more speed in this car. She has done it. She is fighting with some of the best in the super late model, and just somebody that was unexpected on the entry list. Really showing these guys what for. Out of France. I'm impressed. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, it's absolutely excellent. We love to see women in motorsports be able to thrive, and Pelletier-Sharp is absolutely putting on a show for all of the female drivers out there. As you see, Bethea had a big problem up there, falls behind Pierce. This is going to open the door for Pelletier Sharp. She's going to open the door to move up into the 8th position. Oh, a little bit of contact here in turn 1. She's not afraid to put the elbows up. Chase Pierce is right there, might look to go 3 wide.
Side-by-side racing past lap 100. That's what we want to see. Bethea gets the wall and falls back now. Side-by-side now with Pelletier Sharp, and the 17 will move on by. So that's Chase Pierce getting away from it as this battle will fizzle out.
Yeah, these 3 still now out single file again, looking along from the driver camera of Pelletier Sharp. That's Bethea right in front. Again, she's running in 9th. Up 5 positions from the start of this race. So just, again, a clean, impressive drive from this woman hailing from France.
9th position here of, let's see, 20 that are still on the lead lap. Jacob Wilson going to go a lap down here soon. And there's nothing changing out front. McCullum leads by 0.8 of a second over Harberts, then Ryan Kuhn in 3rd, Blake Thronberg in 4th as they pass one car. That was Colin McDonough. So we'll stay on board here with Alyssa Pelletier Sharp just riding along right behind Tanner Bethea. This is the battle for 8th spot. Really the battle for 7th because Chase Pierce is right up the road.
Yeah, these 3 really sandwiched together under a blanket. A 1.5 seconds between these 3 in the next position of Larson Parker in 6th.
Oh no!
Contact!
And that's going to back up the racetrack. Caution. Oh, no! Tanner Bethea turned around by the driver we were praising, Alyssa Pelletier Sharp. And Bethea may be showing some displeasure.
Yeah, like we said, Pelletier Sharp had kept it clean all day long, was battling hard right there with Tanner Bethea. She got a great run out of turn 2 here. Thought about looking to the bottom. Bethea looked about blocking it. Looked like Pelletier Sharp just had too much speed on entry.
And then started to come down the racetrack and got Jane Nelson. This is going to open up pit lane. Everybody's coming in. Let's go straight to live picture here. Pit road is opened up.
Yeah, all of our drivers in. Looks like Alex McCullum, at least all of them getting right sides. Let's see if they take lefts as well. That's something we talked about. Yep, they're all going to take 4 tires. It looks like here within the top 6.
No, that was 2. 2 in fuel.
Really? Oh, in fuel. That's what I was thinking about.
Harberts, for a second, was ahead of McCullum, but McCullum will get the race lead. Well, the lead out of the pit lane, but not the race lead, actually. It's going to be the 6th position that Alex McCullum inherits. More cars in the pit lane. Tanner Bethea comes in. Jane Nelson comes in. So McCullum now going to take over 2nd spot as Peyton Howell will stay out under this yellow. He pitted on lap... well, it was 67 laps ago. Call that 50-ish?
Yeah, sounds about right. I think it was 55, 60.
Yeah, 55
around that
or 56.
area.
Yeah, something like that.
So he'll be out. I think Peyton Howell will be the only one that stays out here, at least up within the front. McCullum, that will relegate him to the outside position of the front row. So still on the front, but different from where he's been all day. He won't be the control car. So we're going to have to see how some of these other drivers cycle out. Some of these guys are a lap down. So we'll have to see how that lineup will set itself when we get this all figured out from this pit cycle.
And this is the first big shakeup in this race. The Blaze Designs Icon Apparel Company driver out of Radford, Virginia is going to lead us to the green flag here. A couple of lap cars in tow, and we are back green.
Yeah, those are lap cars stuck right there. 52 of Peyton Howell, first-time leader all day long. McCullum trying to work to the outside.
Presley Sora there as well, a lap down. So Wesley Lynch is going to go for a spin into the pit wall nearly. Hangs on to the race car, no caution, still trying to get back going. And we'll just get it sorted out. Up front, Here we go.
I couldn't believe that didn't bring out the caution, but meanwhile, Peyton Howell, significantly older tires. Alex McCullum wants to lead the rest of these laps now, working to the inside. Howell's going to let him go. Leader yet again, Alex McCullum in the 1.
Alex McCullum back to the point with brand new tires now, well ahead of Jacob Harbour. It's 1.3 seconds back to Harbour. It's his next big competition on tires. Peyton Howell in the middle of the two in second spot, and then you got Presley Sora 1 lap down there in the 98 car. A chaotic single file restart, but we got it going green.
Battle for position, Chase Pierce and Blake Thronberg right here back in the fight. Battle for the top 5. They're side by side. Looks like Chase Pierce is going to have it.
Pierce has it over Wilkinson. Wilkinson dives back to the inside. They've got Greg Thurlow there, a lap car right in the way. Blake Thronberg is going to pull away. And there we go. They will get by Thurlow, but side by side they stay between the 17 and 56 cars.
Yeah, Pierce was really trying to look to the inside of Thronberg there, but the lap car really messed him up. Brandon Wilkinson right there in the 56, lurking in 7th. He's been in the top 10 all day long and has been very consistent, trying to bide his time here as we come to complete lap number 133.
And it'll be the 52 car moving backwards now. Peyton Howell getting passed up by these guys. I like the gamble, though, to stay out. He's already taken tires, it sounds like. Stay out for now. Keep these tires on the race car. Do something a little bit different.
Yeah, Howell running 1/2 a second off the pace right now. He's fallen down to 4th, but again, he's netting out right now. What that means is if caution were to come out right now, he'd be better than he was if he would have stayed out. Whoa, big little shakeup there between Pierce and Thronberg. Caution is out.
Oh, Pierce is going to spin right into the wall there as the caution comes out. Karsten Klingelhofer's the car in trouble.
Man, and Klingelhofer had been doing very well today. He was one of our biggest movers after Tufts had fallen in the field. Look along with what happened. That's a 55 of Scott Negus on his inside. And right there, that's a 20 of Bethea going to make it 3 wide. Just makes contact with Klingelhofer.
Just wasn't room to do that. Bethea just pokes his nose to the inside, and then contact between the two of them, and Klingelhofer goes for a spin. Right as that happens, Chase Pierce slides and spins, boom, inside wall. Did that damage the left front of that car? I think he might have got away okay.
Yeah, saw him and Thronberg battling within the top 5, trying to make up that position. And Pierce spun it in turn 4. Slight contact with the inside wall.
And that moment from Bethea is just something that we really don't need to have right now. 3 wide with 150 laps to go. Gotta wait. I know you're trying to get back through the field, but there's a lot of time left to do it.
Yeah, really excited. I mean, he's still in the top 10, but yeah, it's just, especially going in the middle of 3 wide. With the rubber on the top and the new way this car picks up rubber, that driver in the top can get real loose real quick. So with they making an aggressive move early in this race.
You know what we haven't done in a few cautions, Scott, is talk about our upcoming broadcasts here at Pit Stop TV. We can take a look here as the iRacing.com safety car lights have been extinguished. Next up, it's the BRB Racing League at Bristol Motor Speedway, the Hauler Podcast 250. 250 laps of short track racing and NASCAR Cup Series cars on Tuesday evening. Make sure to tune in at 8:45 Eastern. Until then, we've got more racing to do here at Five Flags. Lap 140 will begin. We've got 161 laps to go. Green flag back in the air here at Five Flags. And Peyton Howell is headed the wrong direction right now, getting passed up on this restart with those old tires. Here comes Wilkinson, here comes Pierce, and here comes Nelson as well.
Yeah, really hard when we have these single files. He's just going to get stacked out on the outside. He's going to lose positions faster than he would if he would be able to be on the inside. This is Jay Nelson now to his inside, and then Parker Larson Parker right there in the 18 looking to move around. Peyton Howell dropping spots quickly now after this restart. He's now down to 9th before there was a break to get down to the bottom.
Jay Nelson slams the door in front of Larson Parker. Jay Nelson is a driver I've been impressed with this weekend. Waylon Nelson, unfortunately, his cousin was disqualified from this event after a couple of cautions caused, but Jay Nelson has had things together nicely. And it's unfortunate that Waylon's out of the race now because they were both pretty impressive early on in preliminary racing, but we at least have Jay left with us. And Jay has solidly made some adjustments, I'd say, on this race car. They were a little bit further off in the LCQ and qualifying, so they've made some big adjustments to get the car right.
Yeah, he was involved in an incident earlier, but has been able to battle back from that. Now in the top 10, Brandon Wilkinson looks to the inside of Blake Thronberg here. This is a battle for 4th position between these two drivers.
Wilkinson on the inside of Thronberg. Coming up on the halfway distance, it'll be cross flags and just a few more laps. And Wilkinson's looking good. I really have liked the speed out of the 56 car this weekend. It's just been a tick behind Alex McCullum and company, but he's got some speed in that 56 car from Epic Media.
That car has looked so planted. It has looked very stable. He's never gotten truly loose off of the corners. He's never thrown it in on the inside and lost a bit of that speed or that grip. It looks like he's been gripped up all day long, trying to work back to the inside. This is a battle that I see will continue on between these two top-tier drivers for 4th position.
And you've got 4 completely different setups. I'd say even 5, 6 maybe even leading the race. You've got Alex McCullum race cars leading, Matt Julis C in the 2nd spot, and then actually Matt Julis C again in 4th. Ryan Kuhn Motorsports in 3rd. We don't know what Wilkinson is running in 5th, and we don't know what Pierce is running in 6th or what Larson Parker is running in 7th, but I'd imagine it's pretty well all over the place. A lot of different setups, a lot of different setup companies leading this show. It's just showing how good they all are. As that's cross flags right there. Lap 150 is complete.
Waymark in this race, and these drivers still hold it side by side. Like you said, different setups within these cars suited to these drivers and their styles. Thronberg still prevails, holding off that of Brandon Wilkinson in the 56. But again, these are two top-tier drivers. I don't think any of them are done, but they understand. We've got half this race with Thronberg. Wow, loose out of turn 2. He'll lose 2 spots for that.
A big mistake. Falls back to 6th now from 4th. Chase Pierce will happily take that position in the middle of them. And that'll bring Larson Parker into it. Jane Nelson right behind. Tanner Bethea, Peyton Howell wrap up the top 10 currently.
Yeah, they're right there bookending our top 10. But man, Chase Pierce on the bumper, but we look forward to Ryan Kuhn, currently sitting 3rd. He's been running down Harberts just bit by bit here in this race. You see how close he gets to the wall.
That was a really cool shot.
It was, I loved it. It's so easy, you gotta be careful of that wall. We saw it earlier with Chubb Shockley. These cars are almost like a magnet. When they get that wall, they get pulled and sucked in. So you gotta be real careful, but man, he is absolutely testing the limits in 3rd spot, trying to get to the back of Harberts.
And you see down in the bottom right of your screen the delta between these two drivers changing throughout the course of the lap. A little over 2/10 in the corners, back down to about 1/10.5 on the straightaways. Oh my gosh, getting right up to the wall. And there is some lap traffic ahead of Alex McCullum, so that could hold these guys up a little bit as we move on. But Kuhn is getting closer. You can see it visually as there's a caution. Spinner. And whoa, that was Colin McDonough on the inside. No, that was Klinkelhofer. Or was it both of them?
Not sure. I definitely saw Madonna. I saw that purple car for sure.
And then Klinkelhofer too. I think both of them were spun out.
Well, right when that caution happened, we'll see a replay. Chase Pierce got around Brandon Wilkinson for 5th. But we're looking here. This is the 39 of Madonna running up off of turn 2.
I could have swore it was McDonough. We both saw the purple car, right?
I did. It was right down. It was right down there in turn 1.
But it ends up being that it was Klingelhofer, and Klingelhofer's now out of the race. I believe parked.
Oh, I guess that purple just deceived our eyes.
Here's the spin. Ah, that was the purple, maybe. They both spun. That was Schneider and it was Klingelhofer. It was Klingelhofer the whole time. I really thought I don't know if the paint was playing tricks on us or something. I
think
really
it
thought that was
was.
McDonough.
I really do. I thought it was as well. Looks like Klingelhofer has a broken tie rod on that car. You can see it almost fishtailing after the wreck here. But when we take another look back at what happened, Klingelhofer in the 21 and Sean Schneider here in the 26. Almost, I don't know if they made contact. That might have been a little bit of net code, but looked like they were almost simultaneously spinning. So if there was contact, it would have been a little bit of net code.
I don't think there was contact at all between them, but this is going to bring the one car down the pit lane for some reason. Maybe to top up on fuel. McCullum is down through the field now. He is 9th. Everybody else stayed out. I don't know if this was to come in and get 2. Let's go back on the replay.
Yeah, most recent pit road visit, it was only 7.8 seconds in the box. So I've got to imagine that's probably fuel only or left sides only, one of the two. You can't do both there. Stopped in his box. He was a little too far back. Yeah, I think it's fuel only. Yep. That's what I think. It's fuel only, but I'm surprised to see that move even so, because he's going to restart now 9th. First time he hasn't been out front all day, and we know it can get a little bit dangerous in the mid-pack.
Here goes a restart. A little under 140 to go now, and it was single file once again, a little bit all over the place in the midfield.
New driver up front, Jacob Harberts leads this race for the first time today. Meanwhile, 3 wide, Alex McCullum down on the bottom inside of 3 wide, makes it through clean. A little bit of contact there for him. That's Jay Nelson.
McCullum will get aggressive to get back through this field as quickly as possible. He's done it before in the Sarah Super Series. He'll do it here this evening, as that's in the wall for Jay Nelson. But McCullum down on the inside of Bethea, going to bring Thronberg along with.
Yeah, Thronberg also, I believe, came to the pits there, so them two were running up front earlier. Now nose to tail, trying to make it back up through this field. Larson Parker is 1 second ahead of them. They'll have to make it, 2 tenths ahead of them, not 1 second. They'll work to make it back to the inside. Meanwhile, this is Peyton Howell still on an alternative strategy, fighting with Tanner Bethea on his outside.
Howell actually pitted under that yellow, so McCullum, Thronberg, and Howell all pitted under that caution, along with Presley Sora, Trevor Ward, Dylan Canova, Caden Tufts, Jacob Wilson, and Greg Thurlow. All of those drivers pitting under that most recent caution flag and changing up their strategies. We move back forward in the field. Jacob Harberts, Ryan Kuhn, Chase Pierce with 166 in the books this time. It'll be 134 to go.
Chase Pierce has been running solid all day long. He's been in the top 10 all day long. Started 6th in this race, now trying to work to the inside of Kuhn. Won't be able to do it here off the exit of turn 2. But a look right there, make his nose known here out of the exit of 4. He'll let Kuhn know that he's lurking.
And that's all you can do sometimes, just let the driver know that you're there, you're wanting to go by, you're willing to pound on the door a little bit. That's all you can do at times. But up front, this is a much closer race than we've seen all afternoon. Harberts, Kuhn, Pierce, very, very close, all within about a half second of each other. Well, total between the 3 of them. And Thronberg has actually moved up. Thronberg is ahead of McCullum right now.
Yeah, Thronberg, I saw McCullum let him go earlier. Looks like Thronberg just has a lot of pace right now. Wonder if McCullum is saving tire and if Thronberg is using up a little bit more.
So McCullum sitting back right now, saving his stuff. I thought he'd be a little more aggressive to get back up to the front. But playing the fuel game, maybe he knows something these other guys don't know. Maybe also they took more fuel. Maybe that's why they were a little bit slower on that last run. He was a little bit faster. We don't know, unfortunately. That's the stuff that's up to these guys, as here comes Thronberg on the inside of Wilkinson. Yeah,
just got that fresher tire advantage. The rest of these guys have been out for 48 laps. Blake Thronberg pitted 13 laps ago, and only a few of those were under green, so he has a tire advantage here on the inside of Brandon Wilkinson. And after that, once he clears him, well, that's the leaders right in front of him.
So Thronberg moving forward has a couple more in his sights. Now, the pit stop for Thronberg was for 2 tires. For McCullum, it was fuel only. You can see the box time there indicating at least 2 tires thrown on that 22 car. There are 3 sets to use. You may as well use them, right?
I think so. I mean, there's no reason not to. So might be using a little bit more, maybe knowing that he has to come into the pits. McCullum might be saving tire and or fuel, knowing that that might have been his last pit stop of the day. We're just going to have to see, but you can see that tire advantage here from Thronberg. He works the inside of Chase Pierce now for third position.
Thronberg moving forward solidly now into third squarely, where he's been most of the day, but now behind a different driver. It's Ryan Kuhn in second spot, and you can see he's looking around. You can see the green gloves inside of Kuhn's car moving around a little bit as well, hanging on to that race car. That was a really cool shot. If you know what you're looking for, you can see those green gloves move around on the backstretch.
Man, you can just see how much grip Thronberg has compared to these other drivers. This is a battle for second and is about to become a battle for the lead. Thronberg looks to the inside of Harberts for the lead of the Derby.
The Sunshine Derby is wide open right now. Lap 177, and it's a fight for the race lead. Blake Thronberg down to the inside. Matt Julius, Speed Shop drivers battling it out for the race lead.
Harberts giving him a little bit more of a fight than he would probably like. Harbert's using up a little bit more tire to hold this fight on the outside, but I imagine he'll try to slide down to the inside to not give Kuhn the position. But clear into the front, it's Blake Thronberg, new leader.
That is a big change. The 22 moving forward and into first position, now leading this race for the first time all afternoon over Jacob Harberts. The next car on tires sits back in seventh. That's Alex McCullum working on the inside of Larson Parker. And actually, he's not on tires. Next car on tires is going to be Peyton Howell, who came in and got two as well. So a couple of drivers on two tires moving through this field. Howell's got work to do. Thronberg takes the lead. McCullum just came in and got fuel.
Well, we saw that strategy from Peyton Howell work out. He was sitting in ninth when the caution came out, was able to pit and get fresh tires. Beforehand, when he played the strategy to pit early and stay out, he was running back in the back 15. So he has moved up now into 8th position, as we'll see Alex McCullum still trying to work to the inside of Larson Parker, slowly but surely.
Documenting this battle is a lot of fun, but Ryan Kuhn, Chase Pierce are starting to go at it as well, right behind Jacob Harberts. This is inside the top three. In fact, second, third, and fourth positions on hand right here.
I'm just really impressed with Chase Pierce, a name that I wasn't quite sure of today. Obviously, he qualified well. He has just kept it clean all day long. His high is third, low is 11th. And man, he is absolutely impressed today. Working to the back of Ryan Kuhn, you can see that he has the speed, the possibility of the speed to win this race. Lap car on the outside, that's Sean Schneider.
Chase Pierce is a name I'm not super familiar with, but we've seen it before on Pit Stop TV, and particularly, I know Zach Murtis is very familiar with this name, so Zach, one of our broadcasters here at Pit Stop TV, if he's watching, he's going to be very happy to see Chase Pierce doing this well in this race. He's a big Chase Pierce fan, and is very confident in his abilities, so we know Chase Pierce is somebody to watch. It's been very, very fun watching him in that Top Hat Comics Ford Mustang all day long. Very solid number 17 car. Could go for the race win if he could just get by these two.
Hey, I'm a Pierce fan. I mean, if you're a guy that can keep up with guys like Ryan Kuhn,
Caution.
Alex McCullum, and others, caution is out, then you definitely deserve to be up there. It looks like this.
Oh, no.
I think this is Madonna. Whoa, other cars spinning.
Tanner Bethea swipes there at the 18 of Larson Parker. Also saw Peyton Howell around, so something just inside the top 10 has happened and gone very much awry. Alex McCullum was a part of this.
It looks like he just gets to the back of Larson Parker. They were working to the outside. Oh, is that going to be the EOL for Alex McCullum? Peyton Howell gets collected and spun out there. Oh, man, Tanner Bethea jumps to the inside.
And I think that's why he took the swipe at Parker, because Parker came down the racetrack and constricted the lane that Bethea had to go by. Is McCullum getting the EOL?
I'm not sure. I would imagine that he would, but we're just going to have to see what race control decides. Meanwhile, you'll see what happened here. It's Larson Parker and then Peyton Howell getting into the lap car of Schneider. But I've got to say, other car drivers are on pit road. Oh, yeah. Bethea has got to be mad at Parker for that one.
So pit stops underway. Peyton Howell will come in. Dylan Canova comes in. Ryan Kuhn came in. Jacob Harberts came in. And Kuhn beat Harberts back onto the racetrack. Kuhn is going to assume second place with 2 tires on that car. You can see the pit timer here indicating 2 tires at least, and probably just 2 tires, and a very quick stop there for the 72 machine. Harberts with 2 tires as well. Wilkinson with 2 tires. Pierce with 2 tires. Pelletier Sharp with 2 tires. McCullum with 2 tires again. He came back in. He might know that he's going to the back of the field.
Yeah, he does. He's got the EOL there for the spin. He's now battling in the race chat about that. He said he was going to self-spin if he didn't touch him. But Alex McCullum nonetheless will get the EOL, and we'll have to start this restart from the back of this field. We've returned to double file restarts, and something I want to mention before we do that, Chase Pierce overshot his box and lost position to Brandon Wilkinson.
Here we go. Inside of 110 left in the Sunshine Derby. Green flag back in the air at 5 flags. McCullum going to have to work from the rear of the field. Dominated the opening portion of this race. Now, Harberts gets into his driver. Spins Blake Thronberg. And Ryan Kuhn is going to get away with the race lead.
Wow, Harberts just gets into the back of Thronberg. Thronberg seems slow through the center of the corner. Oh man, Thronberg's not going to be happy about that one.
No, he's not. That was with teammates making contact right there.
Yeah. Take another look back at it on our replay. Yeah, it just looks like Thronberg was through the center. And Harberts wasn't quite able to slow up in time. Oh, big contact from Pelletier Sharp.
And Presley Sora. Watch it again. There's the contact. The 22 spins. Presley Sora runs in the back of Pelletier Sharp trying to miss it. Negus gets Larson Parker. And in all of that, I think Alex McCullum made it through okay.
Yeah, McCullum, no damage there from that incident as he is in the back. Blake Thronberg was given the EOL for this incident.
Really?
I'm surprised to see that.
Yeah, I mean, that was pretty clear. He got turned by his teammate, got punched in the back of the car. McCullum got into Negus, actually, in all of this as the checkup started.
Shouldn't have too much damage, if any, from that incident. Notable drivers Larson Parker and Tanner Buffet have gone out of this race. They've disconnected for obviously probably a lot of damage after that last incident that caused our second to last caution.
Ryan Kuhn leading the way. If we were to go green, this race would be complete within about a half hour is what I'm seeing on ATVO. So if these guys can get a run in, this race would be over lickety-split.
Yeah, I think so. We got double file restarts back. I'm glad to see that. Obviously, we had some challenges with it earlier. But right now, I think that's what's going to provide some excellent racing and some opportunities for these drivers. I know Kuhn doesn't want to get stuck on the outside again, but he doesn't have to worry. He's in the lead.
Race leader Ryan Kuhn into the restart zone, trying to complete the late model sweep. Harberts all over the place. Gets jacked up on the restart, but it will stand. Green flag back in the air at 5 flags.
Harberts falls way down the field as he's all the way back there.
McCullum through to 4th.
McCullum pitted for fresh tires yet again, 2 tires, so he does have mostly a fresh set of 4. His right sides would have been a little older than the left, but right back there, that's Trevor Ward battling the inside of Wesley Lynch.
3 wide for a moment. Caden Tufts drives down onto the nose of Trevor Ward. They get it sorted out. Jay Nelson a little free on the inside of Scott Negus. Presley Sora's back there as Ryan Kuhn goes faster yet.
Kuhn out to a half a second lead over second place Brandon Wilkinson. Meanwhile, McCullum still trying to work back through the field. Lap cars back here battling it out, dicing it out for second position. Back here, that's Blake Thronberg trying to make through this hay.
Thronberg trying to work through the field. He's in 12th now, working on Jacob Wilson in that 51 car. That would be for 11th spot, but he's got Sean Schneider right ahead, that slower 26 car that is 6 laps down. Can't go anywhere, can the 22.
Man, he's going to be mad that Schneider is in the way, knowing that he's 6 laps down, absolutely slowing up his pace and ability right here. Now Schneider moves to the outside. That'll allow Thronberg to move up into the inside. Again, like you said, he's in currently 11th.
So moving up is the 22 car. Now Jacob Harbert's got solidified into 5th off that restart. Had a big moment getting going, but hangs on to the race car just, and is back underway here. McCullum has gone on by Chase Pierce and now works on Brandon Wilkinson. So Ryan Kuhn is hearing that Jaws theme now inside of 100 to go.
McCullum only 1 second back from leader Ryan Kuhn, but he does have Brandon
Big
Wilkinson
move.
in the way. Big dive to the inside. Wilkinson will let it go, knows that McCullum is faster. He's trying to hang on to a podium now and will battle Chase Pierce, but McCullum absolutely flying through this field off this last restart.
Any move that McCullum sees, he takes. That's what I've learned about this guy. He takes the opportunity as soon as it presents himself. Sometimes it works out. Most of the time it works out. Not every time. We've seen it bite him in the rear a couple of times, but there it works out beautifully. He takes over second spot and starts to work on Ryan Kuhn.
He's running 1/10 faster than Kuhn right now. You got to wonder what these drivers' plans are. Do they plan to pit again? I don't know, because you can make it all the way if you don't. So tire management, fuel saving, got to wonder who's doing the most right now. What's going to be the proper strategy?
It's going to come down to tires, and if we get a caution here late in this race, if somebody takes 2, they're going to fly back through this field, I think.
Well, you predicted it. You predicted that we might have a green-white checkered to end this race that it might not have been straight up. So we're going to have to see if that late race caution comes out and who will pit for those tires. But meanwhile, coming to complete lap 208, it's Ryan Kuhn out front, but Alex McCullum chasing him down 10th by 10th.
And it's relatively spread out field at this point in time. Presley Sora racing with Alyssa Pelletier-Sharp, who's 1 lap down. The next car on her list will be the 55 car of Scott Negus, up the road by about 1.7 seconds. So she's got a way to go, and that would be 1 position behind the next position for the Lucky Dog spot. It would be Jane Nelson in the Lucky Dog position, currently in 15th position. So this race is spread out quite a bit, although we do have Thronberg and Lynch.
Yeah, Thronberg and Lynch battling it out for legit position here, battling for 9th. Lynch has done a great job all day as keeping it clean. Lynch started out in the back. He started up in 20th position. He's now in 10th as he falls from 9th. Thronberg trying to battle his machine back from the back.
And I like what we've seen out of Wesley Lynch today. Very calm race, as you said. Very clean, just keeping the car in one piece. That's what you want to see out of a driver. We've seen a lot of guys be overzealous, make some big moves today, get loose a lot, but he has been very calm, very collected in that 33 car. That's what you want to see out of a driver in a race like this.
Meanwhile, still single filed out for all this action. But Alex McCullum making it up little bit by little bit. He's now within 6/10 on leader Ryan Kuhn. This is Peyton Howell. But again, Alex McCullum, the talk all day long, led the first half of this race. After altering pit strategies and cautions, he's all the way back up to 2nd.
You're right, exactly half the race led, just about. 152 of the 300 that we're running today have been led by Alex McCullum. Not leaving many laps for the rest of these guys, that's for sure, as he tries to claw back up to the 72 car in the race lead. There is some lap traffic ahead. It looks like the 51 maybe of Wilson, the 39 of McDonough, maybe the 55 of Negus. Or is that a different red car? Not sure, but we've got Alyssa Pelletier-Sharp pulling up on Scott Negus here.
Well, there we go. This is a battle for position, both a lap down. Pelletier-Sharp will sweep right by the 55 of Scott Negus, overdrives the entry a little bit, but we'll get a great drive here on the exit. That's Pelletier-Sharp now into 16th, still 1 lap down. She is the 2nd car 1 lap down. Jane Nelson is next on her boards, 2.2 seconds ahead. Meanwhile, Peyton Howell right here looking for position to Thurlow.
This would be for 11th spot, one position out of the top 10, and whoever gets by whoever, whether it's Thurlow getting away from Howell or Howell getting by Thurlow, whoever wins this fight can race up to the top 10 position of Wesley Lynch. So this is a pretty important spot. If you want to make it to the top 10, you have to win this fight here. Howell was looking good, but starting to fall back off of Thurlow now. We ride on board with Peyton Howell, who's been very active on social media as well. You should follow Peyton Howell on social media. Very active this week, making a bunch of posts about getting into this race and just trying to make the show at one point. Then excited about his opportunity to race for it. Was excited about the Moonlight Derby last night. Got caught up in a couple of crashes. Not very happy about that, but was excited still to go racing here on a Sunday for the Sunshine Derby. Just a really good guy in Peyton Howell.
Yeah, I mean, you got to be excited to run a race like this. I mean, it is an opportunity of a lifetime. Even in the sim, I'm getting to race a Derby on Thursday, and I couldn't be more excited about it. But enough about me. This is Harberts to the back of Brandon Wilkinson for the fight for third.
And don't look now, McCullum is within a half second of the race leader, Ryan Kuhn. I wonder if Kuhn is saving or if he's just lost time getting through lap traffic.
I don't know. You've got to wonder. I think it might be a little bit of both, but we also can know that McCullum is fast. I mean, he's down within 4/10 now, but it's going to be a battle. I know Ryan Kuhn will be able to hold him off. He's good at blocking. Harberts looks to make the crossover here. Throw back, get this inside off of Brandon Wilkinson. He will now dive to the inside. The battle for third is on.
Almost contact there between the driver from the Posse and the driver from Matt Julis C Speed Shop. They'll go by ARCA driver Presley Sora. And we'll continue on down the backstretch. I love that shot there on the very bottom of the nose of the car. That is so, so cool.
Oh, I love it too. Gotta say, Kyle Terzak connected into this session, I imagine, to watch some of his fellow Sara Series drivers battle it out here for the last 75 laps of this race.
And there goes Harberts.
Harbert's around. Brandon Wilkinson officially for third. Fought back after that squaggle on the restart, and I guess I just made up that word.
Squaggle, I like it. It accurately describes what happened, I'd say that. Here we go, inside of 75 to go now. McCullum about 4/10 back of Ryan Kuhn, working through lap traffic. That's Scott Negus in the 55 car out of Nova Scotia. And McCullum just continues to work his way through this field. Has gone mostly from the midfield back to the front here. Let's see, he was as low as 11th. And I think he restarted lower than that, but got to the stripe in a higher position. So it only counted as 11th spot. And has fought back through this top 10. I'm impressed by both of these two drivers, Kuhn and McCullum. They've both faced some adversity this afternoon, but I think a little more impressive for McCullum if he can get back up there and win this race.
Yeah, what for the Snowball Derby, the Sunshine Derby, without a little bit of problems? I mean, every driver out here has experienced something today, even the best of the best in McCullum and Kuhn. But still, they've prevailed and have found themselves up at the front after challenges presented within the first 25 laps. We've got to thank our sponsors, Whiplash SimCam, for providing us with the cameras, ATVO for providing us with our live timing and scoring, CC's Business, and CW Designs, Cody Willem Designs. So thank you to all of our partners that help us out here at Pit Stop TV and allow a lot of this to be possible to watch the Sunshine Derby.
Lap 232 here of 300. McCullum has moved up to about 3/10 back of Kuhn. And this lap traffic is proving to be a pain in Kuhn's side. Just every car he goes by slows him up a little bit more. A hair here, a hair there, a couple of hairs over there. Just holding that 72 car up more and more. Next up, it'll be Peyton Howell. And these lap cars are getting more and more difficult as they run as well.
Well, yeah, they're getting more and more difficult because they're drivers that have more and more talent within this race, or at least have been able to prevail with those challenges we were talking about. Up next is Peyton Howell, next car to be lapped, and we've seen him running in the top 10 a good portion of today, and so he's going to be a hard car to get around because he doesn't want to go a lap down, but Kuhn has to make quick work of him because McCullum now within 2/10.
Ryan Kuhn battling on the inside of Peyton Howell. Wants to put that car one lap down. Howell raced back onto the lead lap, but is about to go that one lap back down. Just out to the races are these two out front, Ryan Kuhn and Alex McCollum. They are just so fast, the both of them. And you see Kuhn get held up. This is going to be tricky for each of these guys to go through.
This is a few lap
traffic
right
jam.
Wow, big contact, 3 wide to turn 2. McCollum makes contact with Howell.
3 wide, McCollum, Howell, and Pelletier Sharp off the corner. Oh, McCollum, that was so close to turning himself.
Man, I can't believe he cleared Howell right there out of turn 4. It was within inches of wrecking himself, but he lost a little bit of time to Kuhn. That actually made Kuhn prevail. He's now 3/10 up on McCollum, but now 1 lap car still in front of them. That's Lynch.
Wesley Lynch running in 10th spot, going a lap down, so this field's starting to succumb to the race leaders. As the run goes on, I mean, this is what you expect out of a derby like this. Jay Nelson going to go a lap down. Now, Nelson has been a couple of laps down already, so he's 2 laps down now. As Kuhn goes by, McCollum gets held up a little bit into the corner. And this is going to be a classic straight-up fight between 2 of the best to do it in a late model on iRacing. McCollum just gets clear of Nelson. But it's going to be Ryan Kuhn and Alex McCollum. They fought it out for the championship in the Sim Auto Racing Association Pierce Fleet Service Super Series on Thursdays earlier this year. McCollum won the battle, he won the war, he won the championship, matching Kuhn's championship the season prior. Now, as McCollum is the defending winner of the Sarah Fall Brawl, Ryan Kuhn wants to say something about it, wants to go to victory lane here in the Sunshine Derby and best Alex McCollum, but McCollum is going to fight back here, a little over 50 to go, just inside of 60, and we've got a straight-up race between the top 2 on late models on the service.
The Derby, usually a time for these drivers in the postseason to get some ever-after remarks after things might not have gone their way. And that's the story for Ryan Kuhn. It didn't go his way, wasn't able to best the number 1 of Alex McCollum in their regular championship with the Sara Series. But here, Kuhn looks to make his day, looks to prove that he can race and he can beat McCollum here in a place like this, in a place like the Derby, where their cars feel best, where their pedigree is out. Caution is out.
Sean Schneider, and that'll be the 38 of Greg Thurlow, and this completely halts everything and changes the race. This is going to be a pit stop opportunity. We'll take one replay look back at this and see what happened between the 26 and 38 cars, and then we will get ready for pit stops.
Wow. Late race caution. This is Sean Schneider we're looking at. Oh, the 38 just gets loose right in front of him. That's a driver of Greg Thurlow. Just powers it into turn 3. Nowhere to go. Pit stops. Kuhn, McCollum, other lead lap drivers down into the pit lane.
Expect 2 tires here. I don't think you'll see 4. We could see 4, thinking about it a little more, but I really expect 2 tires to be the way to go because you've got to get that track position. I don't know that 4 is going to help you that much more than 2.
Track position especially important here in this race, man. Look at all that rubber.
All those marbles. iRacing updated marbles. There goes Kuhn. Down and away. McCollum follows. Who won the race out? It looks like it's going to be Kuhn. Chase Pierce will follow, then Harberts and Ward. Caden Tufts will follow. Then Wesley Lynch is a lap down. He's trying to get his lap back. A couple of drivers do stay out. One of them, how about this? Brandon Wilkinson.
Why not? Been running in the top 5 all day long. I imagine these guys might think that we might get another caution here late in this race. Yes. And these drivers will have to pit again because everyone has enough tires to at least pit again once.
Yeah, this is Wilkinson playing chess when the rest are playing checkers. This is him taking a gamble, making a bet that we'll get another caution flag later in this race when he can come in and get 2 tires and race back forward, maybe even 4 tires and race back forward.
We'll have to see how this all plays out. That'll relegate Kuhn and McCollum here into 3rd and 4th. As we've got Wilkinson and Canova both staying out on 60-lap-old tires.
Let's see who all pitted. It'll be Kuhn, McCullum, Pierce, Harberts, Ward, Tufts, and Thronberg. Wesley Lynch stays out. Howell, Sora, and Wilson pitted. Here we go. Green flag. They all stack up on the bottom side. Kuhn got jacked up from behind.
That was Chase Pierce getting into the back of him. Ryan Kuhn has a huge problem on the restart. He's way in the back now.
He is way back there in the 6th position. McCullum going to go by on the outside. 50 to go. This time by McCullum. Back to the point.
Man, is that the thing that changes the race winner for this? Does that destroy Kuhn's day? Now back in 6th. And McCullum up to the lead.
On board with Ryan Kuhn as he fights through the field. He's going to have to put perfect laps together as he goes by Canova and pulls up behind Harberts. He's right back reset where he was earlier in the 3rd position, behind Jacob Harberts, behind Alex McCullum. He's trying to pull off the sweep. He won the Moonlight Derby last night here at Five Flags. He's trying to win the Sunshine Derby. It's going to take a lot of work now.
He's 6/10 off of McCullum. The best thing that he had was he was in front of him and would have had that opportunity to put up a defense. But now he's going to have to put it fully on offense. He's going to have to be the attacker if he wants to get by McCullum for this race win. And we're under 50 laps to go in the Sunshine Derby.
Riding on board there a little bit with Ryan Kuhn. You see Caden Tufts in the 4th spot. Chase Pierce in 5th. He'll get passed up here by Blake Thronberg, who goes on through to the top 5. Dylan Canova in the 7th spot. Brandon Wilkinson in 8th. He's betting on a caution to come out later in this race. Trevor Ward's on tires. Ward's going to come right on by that 56 car. Ward out of Oxford, Maine. And contact is made between those two.
Man, not working out the way Brandon Wilkinson would have wanted. I think this is the lowest he's been within the green flag area of this race all day long. So those older tires just not working against all these guys that have pitted. But the story, it's up front. Alex McCullum, he's led most all day long. Other drivers have been up front, but his big battle has been against Kuhn. With the problem on the restart, he's gotten the lead back.
Lap cars can still spoil this and allow Harberts and Kuhn to catch up. There's a lap car now. Colin McDonough could hold up this one car and allow the others to catch up. I want to say, for those of you watching, we've got a healthy field of viewers over on YouTube right now. I'm sure on Facebook and Twitch as well. Let us know who you're pulling for. Let us know who you think will win this race right now with now 40 laps to go. Oh, and Harberts got held up big time.
Harberts right there. Kuhn is right on his back bumper, ready to make a move if anything goes wrong, any mistake from Harberts.
Watching from the blimp, I love these blimp perspectives. We don't use them enough here at Pit Stop TV. I'm going to have to start using them more. This is a really cool shot from high above the speedway.
You can just see that Kuhn is just able to carry more speed off the corner. He's able to wrap the bottom longer than Harberts. That'll give him more speed on the exit, and slowly, inch by inch, bit by bit, Kuhn will make up the ground to him. But meanwhile, if they start to get in the fight, that will allow McCullum to get away.
Watching on from the fan cam now, Jacob Harberts trying to put some time down. McCullum leading this race. Little battle in the back. Peyton Howell, Brandon Wilkinson. Wilkinson falls back. Howell moves up. That's good for 9th.
Yeah, Wilkinson now down into 10th. Second to last lead lap car. Again, strategy not playing out the way he probably would have liked. He's definitely going to need a caution here. Another driver I think is going to need a caution. I think it's going to be Kuhn. With that problem on the restart, I think he just won't have enough time to get to the back of McCullum.
Not having to go through Harberts, no. This is going to be very difficult to get by Harberts in the first place, let alone run down Alex McCullum and then pass Alex McCullum. I mean, it's just, the odds are stacked up against Ryan Kuhn right now. He had the advantage leading the race. That changed on the restart. Oh my gosh. Just heartbreak. I got a feel for Ryan Kuhn right now, and this is going to be a very stressful drive to the end.
Yeah, I think so. I think it was Chase Pierce that got into the back of him on that restart that put him back in 6th position. He was slowly and quickly able to make it up to 3rd, But right now, he's just stuck behind the driver of Jacob Harberts, not able to make the move and make up the ground to get around him into second.
Scott, as we approach the end of this race, I got to thank you for being here with me this afternoon. We had Mason Houseman last night on the call for the Moonlight Derby. Got to thank you for being here this afternoon. It's been a pleasure to have you, Scott. As always, you're on Pit Stop TV. I know you join us usually for the Sim Route Market Series, but for this Sunshine Derby, boy, what a day it's been. Thanks for being here, Scott Shine. It's been a pleasure. A little over 30 laps to go. Alex McCullum, Jacob Harberts, Ryan Kuhn, your top three. Caden Tufts in fourth. Blake Thronberg in fifth. It'll be 31 laps to go, this time by the speed shop.
Yeah,
and
Blake
look at the lap cars ahead.
Lap cars up ahead coming for Alex McCullum. McCullum going to have to make quick work of them because it could be an opening for these drivers like Harberts and Kuhn. And look at this, Caden Tufts up into fourth position. He started in the 27th today. He's up to fourth. What a drive.
Here is that double op machine from Elite Performance Industries. Had a lot of fun last night in the super late model LCQ. He actually won that LCQ race. Was very impressed with his run over Jeremy Ashby. Ashby not able to make it today, it seems like. But Tufts with the race win in the LCQ now uses that opportunity to come race in the Derby and is making the most of it.
Right ahead of him, I think Kuhn is losing a bit of that speed that we saw. Meanwhile, Harberts goes to the outside, so makes up a little bit of ground. But I think Kuhn is losing a little bit of that early on pace that he had with these fresh tires. But now, looks like he might have been saving, going down back to the back bumper.
And there's a lot of traffic up ahead. McCullum is in the middle of it. Just trying to get through it all. There's Presley Sora, he goes by, Alyssa Pelletier-Sharp, Wesley Lynch, Jane Nelson. Thurlow there as well in the 38 car. McCullum has got through it. Now Harberts tries to get through.
Yeah, they're around now, the 38 of Thurlow, like you said, now too wide in front of them. That's the last thing you want to see for lap cars fighting for position. This is going to really slow up these two drivers of Harberts and Kuhn.
Harberts pokes his nose to the inside of Lynch. Lynch gives him room. Pelletier-Sharp all the way up the racetrack from the basement to the attic. 25 laps to go there.
Alex
24.
Alex McCullum's lead went from 7 tenths now to 1.4 tenths over Harberts, so he made up almost double his distance he had between these two drivers in second and third.
What a show. I know it was a little bit rough early going. We had those 10 cautions in the first 100 laps or so. 18 cautions now for 69 laps. I know it was tough to get going, but now look at that. Over 200 laps of green flag racing. What a day it has been here. 8 lead changes. We haven't known who was going to win this race, really, until now, if it stays green. That's if it stays green. If we get a caution, the race is right back opened up.
Yeah, McCullum earlier provided absolute dominance, but then once we got into pit stops and altering strategies, he got stuck in the mid-pack and in the back, and so he's had to work his way back to the front. But after the problem with Ryan Kuhn, he has established himself out front yet again in this race. As you see, millimeters off the wall in turn 4. He is not giving up an inch right now. He is driving his heart out, making sure that he has a solidified lead up front. It's now 1.5 ahead of Harberts.
There you see the number 1 car scraping the wall in the back straightaway. Leading this race, adding to that lap lead total, trying to hit 200 laps led in this 300 lap affair. That was 19 laps to go. Just an impressive day from Alex McCullum once again. I go back to the Sarah Fall Brawl. It was here at Five Flags Speedway. Dominated that race, went to victory lane. Then you have the Winter Derby on iRacing, an extra opportunity for these drivers to run at Five Flags in a competitive style and stance and tweak on their cars, change their setups, find more speed. He mentioned he wasn't able to run the Winter Derby. Ryan Kuhn Motorsports, the RKM setup shop, they had to put out setups for that Winter Derby, so they were tweaking on the cars. They were finding more speed, but McCullum, not able to run that Winter Derby, comes out here with the same setup it sounds like that he ran, or at least a similar setup that he ran in the Fall Brawl, and has absolutely put the field right back to bed. 16 laps to go. He's got 1.7 seconds on Jacob Harberts for second.
Like you said, just impressive. Harberts right here, still running in second, and Kuhn losing time to second place of Harberts. Meanwhile, Caden Tufts been making up a little bit of time slowly by slowly. Will he battle here for the podium with Ryan Kuhn coming to the close of this race?
I want to ask you all to follow along with Pit Stop TV on social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, YouTube, and X. There's a bunch of you watching. Make sure to go and hit the follow button on each of these platforms and follow along with Pit Stop TV even beyond the Sunshine Derby 300 today. Inside of 15 to go. That was 14 last time by. Caden Tufts of Caden Tufts Designs, one of the partners of this event, working on third place. He could very well have it by the end of this race.
Tufts has been extremely impressive like we talked about earlier. He worked up 17 spots or 20 spots made up in this first part, then was involved in an incident in the midway break, had to work back from the back yet again, and he's done it. Now to the outside of Ryan Kuhn. Kuhn gets way loose out of turn 4.
And Kuhn's going to give that spot up. Let's Caden Tufts go. Caden Tufts roars into the third position. Chase Pierce back there in fifth. I said earlier, I think we were going to have a green-white checkered. There's a caution. This race just got turned on its head. Greg Thurlow turned around on the next straightaway.
Oh my gosh.
It's as if I designed it.
We knew it was a possibility. And when you get to the end of the race like this, drivers go they get a little bit more aggressive trying to make up positions. Presley Sora involved in the incident here with Thurlow. Oh, just pushes it up on the exit of 2. Oh, big contact for Pelletier Sharp.
I think that's Presley Sora's first caution of the day. Just a little bit of contact at the back end of the 38 car. Let's see what we have for pit stops this time around.
I imagine everyone.
Well, they've already used their third set, I think. So this is where Wilkinson's going to have the opportunity to come in and get those tires he didn't take before. Here he comes. Even if he gets 2, he's going to roar back through the field, I feel like.
He'll be on 45 lap advantage tires as compared to the leaders who have all stayed out. First car on pit road is Peyton Howell, closely followed by Wilkinson.
This is going to completely turn this race around. Wilkinson, though, is going to have to beat the pace car back out of pit lane. Wilkinson going to go up on jacks, maybe? Yes, right sides. Where's the pace car? There it is. Passing pit entry. So back to Wilkinson here. He's going to get out there with 2 tires. Peyton Howell going to get out with 2 tires as well. Watch these 2 on this short run. There's not many laps to go, but if we can just get a few in, oh man, watch out for it.
I think Pelletier Sharp also took 2 tires. I know she's got a little bit of damage, but she is right there with these 2 of Brandon Wilkinson.
She's 2 laps down.
Oh no, well there we go. That might tell the story. But she might be able to make up some positions back there on Greg Thurlow and Jacob Wilson, 2 cars that she will be battling. But I don't know how much this caution helps driver we were talking about, Ryan Kuhn. With him, that pass by Caden Tufts, he's going to be stuck on the outside. And we saw earlier in this race, the outside was a tough place for him to start on the restart.
McCullum will choose the bottom side of the racetrack as he has all day long. I'm actually not sure these drivers have the opportunity to choose for the lane choice for the leaders.
I don't think they do.
Well, here we go. It'll be 6 laps to go on the Sunshine Derby. First cars on tires are 9th and 10th. They've got to race through 8 cars to get to the race lead. Let's see if they can do it. The Sunshine Derby 300 might be ending here. Green flag back in the air. Watch Howell on the inside. He's moving forward, trying to go there anyway. He was on the apron in turn 2 trying to find space.
Harberts right closely behind leader Alex McCullum, trying to find that extra bit of pace as we cross to 5 laps to go. These drivers packed up in the mid-pack. Peyton Howell, Brandon Wilkinson, big contact, Trevor Ward. They're sideways, but they managed to save it up to the outside wall. There's still green out here, 3 wide in turn 4.
That's a couple of cars out of the way of those cars now, but still, they've got a long ways to go in just 4 laps, just 4 circuits around this 5 Flag Speedway. McCullum leads the way. This time by, it'll be 3 laps to go.
Kuhn still on the outside of Tufts. They're still battling for this third position. Side by side still, but Harberts, nothing for McCullum right now. Again, 2.5 laps left to go. As we cross the stripe, we'll come to 2 complete left to go. McCullum looking to win the Derby.
2 laps to go in the Sunshine Derby. Alex McCullum out front by a handful. It's Jacob Harberts in second spot. The first car on tires is back there in sixth. It's Wilkinson. This time by the white flag in the air, brought to you by Whiplash Simcams.
Brandon Wilkinson, one of those guys on fresh tires, trying to work to the outside of Ryan Kuhn for fourth. But the talk is all about Brandon Wilkinson up front, Alex McCullum.
Alex McCullum out of turn number 4 is going to win the Sunshine Derby at Five Flags Speedway. Alex McCullum, the race winner in the Sunshine Derby. He'll take home the big trophy. He'll take home the paycheck. It's all car number 1.
Wow. I mean, what a drive from him. We talked about it. Absolutely dominated in the early part of this race. Overcame issues like an EOL and other things with strategy. Battled with Ryan Kuhn and prevailed in the pit lane. Had a great race with restarts and everything of that nature. Alex McCullum gets it done here today. Jacob Harberts follows him up. Caden Tufts is promoted to a third place finish. What a drive by him today.
What a burnout as well by Alex McCullum. Perfectly there on the front stretch. Parks it right in between the flight path of our drone. Oh, that's perfect. Yes, Alex, you've got it done. One of the rare burnouts you'll see from an Alex McCullum race car, but we get it here today. Harbert second, Tufts third, Wilkinson, Kuhn your top 5. They'll all report to the broadcast waiting room here in just a moment. But Alex McCullum with another strong race win here at Five Flags Speedway. He won the Sarah Fall Brawl. He wins the Sunshine Derby. How many more late model races can this guy win? I don't know. But oh my gosh, he has got strength in that number 1 car. Let's go back and take a look at your unofficial, very unofficial Sunshine Derby 300 race results. With the race win today, it's Alex McCullum out front. Second place, Jacob Harberts. Third place, Caden Tufts. Fourth place, Brandon Wilkinson. Solid job to race back. He just needed another restart or two. I am telling you, if we got that green-white checkered I was talking about, he would have been a threat for that race win. But Ryan Kuhn will follow right behind him in 5th, Peyton Howell in 6th, Chase Pierce, Blake Thronberg, Trevor Ward, and Dylan Canova with a strong top 10 today.
Well, back there in 11th, that was Wesley Lynch, the last car on the lead lap. Then it's the 38 of Greg Thurlow, 2 laps down, fighting with Alyssa Pelletier-Sharp, our driver hailing from France, rounds it out 13th. Jacob Wilson rounds it out in 14th. Scott Negus in 15th. Presley Sora, 3 laps down, comes home 16th. Jay Nelson, one of the cousins, comes home in 17th. And 18th, that was the 26th of Sean Schneider, 10 laps down. 19th, the 39 of Colin Madonna. And then in 20th, that was Parker Larson, 107 laps down.
Finishing back in the 21st spot, Tanner Bethay in the 20B. It's Chubb Shockley there in 22nd spot, and a lot of these guys out 100 laps or more. 200 in some cases, 300 in others, as you have a couple of cars DQ'd out of this race, those being Klingelhofer and Waylon Nelson. But that's a full look at your unofficial race results all the way down through the full order of 30 cars. What a day it was. Even Kyle Ricketts, who didn't make the start of the race, he will unfortunately take home the 31st spot in this Sunshine Derby. And what a Sunshine Derby it was. It's all won by car number 1. He set a pole time on Friday, didn't have to race on Saturday, shows up here on Sunday, absolutely dominates the show. 203 laps led for you, Alex. I keep asking you the same question. How in the world do you keep doing this?
Build good race cars, I guess. Nah, this race was a lot of strategy, and honestly, I don't think I pulled a good strategy. I pitted there, I think, with what I think was 160 to go. I knew we weren't gonna make enough fuel, so I'm like, I'll just top it off, and so I don't have to come back down. But figured I had to come back down for tires, and I realized that after I came out pit road. So I was like, well, good thing I didn't take tires, because I wouldn't have had tires for the last stop right there. So yeah, this race was long. A lot of green flag laps there at the end, which I needed. My car was really, really good the longer we went.
If we had gotten another caution in the final 6 laps, do you think it would be a different story? Do you think you would have had to worry about Brandon Wilkinson on those tires?
Oh, for sure. I mean, new tires are like 3 to 4 tenths difference, and we were gonna lap him, I think, right there, and then he luckily got the yellow and was able to come back through the field. So tires mean everything, especially I think with this new dynamic update with the marbles and stuff. That plays an effect, and honestly, the marbles helped. If I put my left sides down there, it freed the car up. So yeah, it was definitely fun, and should be good going forward.
I was just about to ask how the marbles played into today's race. There was a bunch. There was even a bunch of rubber down in 3 and 4 at the start of the day from all the burnouts of guys messing around in practice. How did that change the racetrack today?
Honestly, I think all the rubber in turn 3 and 4 helped me. That's where my car felt the best throughout the whole day. I was changing so much stuff throughout the race, trying to keep up with the track. I've watched too many races not changing the car throughout the run, so I don't know, I think we got really good 5 flag stuff here for these strategy races. So tried some new stuff with the Super, as Southern wasn't good as I want it to be. So I think going forward, Sarah will be really good.
Speaking of the Sarah Super Series, call your shot now. Where do you think we're racing Thursday?
I'm saying South Boston.
Okay, we'll have to see what happens on Thursday, where we're going. I don't know yet. Matt hasn't told me a thing, so we're going to find out on Thursday with you. Going to be a lot of fun on Thursday, wherever we go for the Sarah Super Series. But Alex, congratulations. You're the Sunshine Derby 300 race winner.
Thank you. I just want to say thanks to you guys for broadcasting, Ethan putting this on. It's not easy to put this stuff on by yourself, so props to Ethan trying to keep everything under control. I know early on was pretty hectic, but honestly, that's how these races go. Everybody's so amped up, but sometimes you got to be a little patient to make it to the end, and luckily we made it to the end.
Patience prevailed today, that's for sure. Alex McCullum, with all that patience and 203 laps led today, gets it done over Jacob Harbert. Scott, he's coming to you.
Jacob Harberts comes home in second, 1 spot short of the win for the Sunshine Derby today. Jacob, tell me what more you needed to bring the fight to McCullum.
Man, I was just too tight. I was kind of fighting a tight car all race. I should have expected the yellows throughout the race and just prepared better for that. But at least I know for next time. But I was still able to miss the crashes and hang on to second place there. Kind of everything fell in line for realistically my best possible finish. I mean, there were some other cars behind me that I know were quicker than me, but I was just kind of at the right place, right time.
Talking about that strategy, what was your plan coming into the day, and how did that change throughout this race?
Usually, plan is kind of first stint, hold out as long as you can. You don't want to use up all your tires too early in the race, and that way too, you can go like 150 laps or so on 1 tank of fuel. So if you can pit right around that halfway mark, you can fill it up all the way, and just in case it goes green, the remaining 150 laps, you don't have to stop under green. But it just comes down to kind of predicting when you think you'll get cautions and just putting on tires at the right time, because they fall off quick. So if you can hold out 15 or 20 laps longer than the people you're racing with and put new right sides on, you'll be a lot quicker and you get up to the field. But you're just hoping that you can time those cautions right.
Yeah, heading into that last restart, you had pitted 50, or would have been at the time 40 laps prior. What was your plan working on that outside? What were you thinking about was your best opportunity to get by McCullum?
I mean, it was the only chance I had is if I timed it perfect and was able to kind of meet him at the line. I think I might have been able to roll top, but I mean, my car was so tight, I don't know if I could have even hung on the outside like I wanted to. I should have just made more, at least made more pit stop adjustments. That last stop, I should have loosened the car up more.
Well, a lesson to be learned for Jacob Harberts here. Still a great result in second, and what a great effort, Jacob.
Appreciate it.
Well, that was Jacob Harberts coming home in second. Then we got Caden Tufts, a driver who made up 24 positions. He's with Andrew.
Caden Tufts from the LCQ winning it last night to now finishing 3rd place in this Sunshine Derby. A lot of hard work in that double op machine. How did you get it done today?
Oh, I don't know. I actually was just saying yesterday as a joke I'd be back here, but here we are, I guess. The thing was pretty good. Start of the race, it was loose, very loose. So every time I pitted, I was doing like 2 clicks trying to tighten this thing up. So I guess that last stop was the way to go. And we got Ryan there on the top. The car felt amazing on the top. Just had absolutely nothing on the bottom. But I'll definitely take a 3rd place after starting. But I don't even know where I started.
27th with a couple of cars that didn't make it today. A long day for sure here at Five Flags Speedway. Is there anything in the world you could have done to get the 2 up front?
God, I don't know. Alex is a good driver, so is Jacob, so I mean, maybe if they got into each other or something, I could have snuck by, but I don't think I really had anything for them.
Well, it's good to talk to you, Caden, after calling your shot last night, saying if Ashby can do it, I can do it, and you did it. He wasn't here, so props to you. 3rd place when it's all said and done. A solid effort in the Sunshine Derby 300. Hopefully we're talking to you again soon.
Thank you, and I'd like to thank all my sponsors, Elite Performance Industries. They provide the setup for me. Bradwan Mortgages, Kimberly Beverage Room, Geyser Transfer, LBT Pallets, Caden Tufts Designs. You guys for putting this on. Ethan for dealing with us tonight. It was a little bit hectic at the start there, but I mean, he did it. So it's impressive. You don't really see many leagues get ran by only one person. There's usually a big group that helps out. So props to Ethan.
Absolutely. Ethan Wolf putting his head together and putting on this event. What a job he's done. Caden, thanks for being here. Thanks for being a partner of this event. And just congratulations once again.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
That's Caden Tufts in the 3rd spot. And I'm going to talk about something that I talked about earlier here, Scott. When you look across the race results here, how many different setup shops are represented in the top 10? You got Alex McCullum from McCullum Race Cars. So he's on his own thing. Harbert's from Matt Julis C-Speed Shop. Caden Tufts from Elite Performance Industries. Brandon Wilkinson on who knows what. The posse there, so I don't know what setup he's running. Ryan Kuhn from Ryan Kuhn Motorsports. Peyton Howell from 47 Speed Shop. Chase Pierce, I'm not sure where he runs. But then you get back down there, you get a repeat there in Blake Thronberg, who's also on a Matt Julis C-Speed Shop car. Trevor Ward, I believe, might be over at RKM. I'd have to check my notes. And then I'm not sure about Dylan Canova. You've got a wide variety, probably 8 different setups in this top 10 at least.
Just goes to show, I mean, drivers drive different ways. I mean, there's a certain way that you can drive these cars, these super late models, but it goes to show that when you have a setup that is fit to your driving style and you have a fast car and you are a fast driver, it shows that you can provide a good result. And it shows with all these drivers. Obviously, Ryan Kuhn, Alex McCullum, Jacob Harberts, and others we expected to be here up front, but others like Caden Tufts, Peyton Howell, Chase Pierce, and Trevor Ward, Dylan Canova, other guys we might not have thought would be in our top 10 at the end of the day, but yet here they are because of their setups and the hard work they put in behind the wheel today.
I think Peyton Howell's going to be happy with that result. We talked about his social media presence. I know he's going to be making a post about this when the day is done. A solid effort for sure, but Ryan Kuhn, couple of spots shy. Brandon Wilkinson couldn't quite get up there. Caden Tufts a couple of spots short. Jacob Harberts couldn't get to Alex McCullum. It's the number 1 car doing burnouts in the background there. What a shot there from the front stretch drone. Love these pictures here. Thanks to Whiplash SimCams, and thanks to all of our partners, Whiplash SimCams, ATVOs, CC's Business, and Cody Williams Design. Want to give a big shout out to all the partners here with the event. Of course, this would not be possible without so many people making this possible. Club Racing Incorporated, just for starters, the title partner of this weekend's event. Club Racing Incorporated, now an Alex Club, an ARCA Series driver. You've also got Damn It race videos. You've got Goodacre Photography, Caden Tufts Designs, MTM Fabrication, and KC Athletics. All a big part of this event, making this event possible in the first place. Scott, thank you so much for joining me. Any final words before we part our ways here?
I'm just glad to have been here for the Snowball Derby. I mean, I love to watch it. I love to do it. You know I love this super late model. And just glad to have gotten the opportunity to be here with you, call these awesome drivers, and that put on a thrilling race.
It was a pleasure once again for sure. Glad to have you back here with the channel and back for Wednesday's action. Let's talk more about that. What's upcoming for us at Pit.TV. Tuesday, it's the BRB Racing League at Bristol Motor Speedway. We've talked about this a little bit so far throughout the day. Bristol for the BRB Racing League on Tuesday. Then Wednesday, we head to Indianapolis with the Simrat Market Series. And Thursday, it's a mystery track for the Sarah Super Series. Make sure to tune in for all of these events on Pit.TV on our platforms down below.
You can find us at pitstoptv.com, our Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, YouTube, and our X. You can find all of our racing action and updates about schedules anywhere on there.
Thanks for tuning in this evening. It's been a pleasure. This afternoon, really. It has been a very fun time. Ethan Wolf, thank you so much for putting this event together, doing all the hard work behind the scenes, and making sure we had a fantastic Sunshine Derby to race. That will do it for us at Pit.TV. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you all next time here at the channel.